we need to start with a clap because that's how people know we're shooting together. Remember?
What, an actual clapper? Or?
No, we can just clap. And now people know we're filming in person. That's the rule.
Hello.
That's the
rule.
50 Doctor way to sync a show.
It is the way. That's how you
it's
do it.
the clap.
Just a subtle clap. How are we, folks?
Good. Aiden, how are you?
I'm swell. We're here.
in person. COVID's dead.
That's right.
Good.
It doesn't exist here anymore.
Oh, I thought we were pretending we were on Zoom.
Oh, sorry.
That.
I'll send you a new
Same.
Zoom link.
I can't hear you guys.
Yeah.
What?
Standard. We're here actually in person today.
Yeah.
You know, Connor once again is here.
Hello.
We're in a
Fuck's sake.
studio together.
I'm the
Three of us.
25% of the 50%,
What a
baby.
shit
Yes,
joke.
I'm the 0%.
And then that guy.
Or I'm the other 50%.
The other voice is Daniel Ade back once again for his season, an episode of season.
Woo! Yeehaw!
Lovely. And yeah, we're in. shooting
I
in
come for
studio.
the best episodes ever. And let me put it this way: I come for the most episodes most worth watching every season. That's what I
don't know.
Is this your first good one?
If I'm reviewing it, then
Well, it
it's
depends how
worth
we feel
watching.
about it, I guess.
Well,
but
hey, I'm saying it's worth watching. Everyone that I come on for, give it a watch.
I don't know. Lodger was a bit shit. So Dan usually comes on.
Well,
for
I'm
the
talking
shit
about the
episodes.
episode that I'm on. I'm talking about the podcast episode.
Oh, this is worth watching, listening.
I'm talking about if any fans of this show are kind of only just slightly fans, you can be guaranteed if you just watch my episode every season, it'll be a good one. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's move on.
God's sake.
fun bit. Words. Doctor Who. That's what the show's about, and
Yes,
and we're
Doctor
talking
Who.
about.
Oh, that's the other 50%.
That's the other 50% of the
Yeah,
show.
okay.
We're
25.
talking about the Doctor's wife today. Bit of fun. Bit of lovely fun.
Fan
Lovely fun.
favorite,
I
the Doctor's
think
wife.
she is just a class act all around. She really is lovely.
Are we talking about?
The Doctor's wife.
First, a little bit of news,
Oh,
a little bit of
Lord.
lovely news, bit of housekeeping.
Oh yeah, you guys. Yeah, what's the? Give me
What's
the
the
structure
news?
of the show. I'm here for the
Well,
guests.
we like
you
to
know?
just chat a bit about the news, and the only,
That's right.
for fuck's sake, I need to turn down your sounds so
is
we
this,
can benefit from the sounds.
Are you giving me the John Bishop updates, Aiden? Is that what this is?
Hey,
Just
Dan, do you want to hear about
Bishop.
Dan?
Oh god.
Yeah, Dan, give me some news about Dan.
There's no news about anything, is there?
So what's your
No,
news?
well,
Aiden?
my news is more a bit of merch. We got,
Okay.
I don't know if you guys saw, I tweeted about that new animation. That looks.
Oh, I've
beautiful.
seen that. I've seen the. I've
you?
seen the trailers for it. Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck is it called? Why can't I think of its name?
Daleks attack.
Isn't it
No.
with
It's Troughton.
Yes,
Evil of the
that's right.
Daleks. That's
Yeah,
what it's called.
Evil of the Daleks.
And
I was going to say a different Doctor even, but I did see it. I did see the thing you're talking about.
I think it came out of nowhere. I think a lot of people were expecting some different animations, and this one came up. And this
Yeah.
one, fun fact, completes season.
Right.
I want to say season 4, which means
okay.
maybe now we can get a collection box set of a classic series.
How
of
do-
a 60s.
So
Oh,
is-
so if they put it in the animated, okay,
yeah, because that's what they'll do. They'll
It'll
fill the
complete
backs of those.
what's the incomplete? Do they have any of their Doctors one on or nah?
What?
That Doctor, do they have any box
Of
sets?
Charlton?
Yeah.
No. So they only have box sets from John Pertwee's era onwards. So there's no 60s
Not even
sets.
Hartnell either.
No.
Oh, okay, I
Because
didn't know that.
Hartnell and Charlton both have a fuck ton of the missing episodes, which I'm sure
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys will know about.
So you're saying if they animate all the missing Troughton episodes,
Yeah. Well,
maybe we get some sort of
this will
collection,
be
yeah.
the last one that will complete a season. So
So
now we'll
there'll
have
be
all
at
of season
least
4.
one season.
Yeah.
to-
So
yeah,
they can
okay.
probably
How's the
release
audio
that.
still
And
there,
then they
though?
could
Is that
just
like
do
just saved
the-
on some hard
people
drive in
would
the
just-
BBC?
No, people like fans just went and recorded it. So they could listen back to it, like back in the 60s.
Yeah.
But so obviously the footage was like missing.
Yeah.
Well, they
But
would have
the-
recorded it with like a tape recorder or some shit.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
That's how
literally just the
people
sound
would.
of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, think
That's how-
about. I mean, Doctor Who is
What?
old enough where another thing that was popular media was like radio stories. You know, And
Yeah, true.
people would do the same thing. Just record what's on the radio, listen to it back.
Sure, the audio's a bit fucky then.
In places, but it's actually pretty decent. for the
Yeah,
most part.
but
it's almost like you've
but-
not watched Josh Nair's missing episode series. Kind of. Jeez.
I have a long time ago though, like maybe
if
a
it's
year and a
a
bit ago.
if it's a recording device, you put it near the speaker. I mean, it'll sound fine.
Is what it is. Yeah. And I've
People
only
at that
watched,
time probably had shit hearing anyway.
I've only watched one animation, and that was the one you bought me, Fury of the Deep.
Yes,
Fury
yes.
of the. I nearly said dick. I don't know why.
Aiden gave the deep.
Fury of the Dick.
Aiden deeped that dick.
I actually really enjoyed it. It was like a
Okay.
different way of watching an episode. Like it It was like
That it was animated, you mean?
yeah, but it was like kind of fun, and I feel like I
Yeah.
would enjoy because the '60s stuff in black and white. It's so dated. I kind of feel like the fact that it was in color and it was vibrant and stuff that made it a little more accessible to me. You know what I mean?
It's interesting because I've been meaning to ask you guys if you guys have talked about it on the podcast or if you're going to
Oh
review
fuck!
it.
I know what you're
I
talking
don't know
about.
what you're talking
I watched The Infinite Quest.
I've never seen that.
Oh no! Yeah, neither. Never
You
watched
guys
it.
haven't seen it?
No.
No.
I watched, me and Kath both watched like you got, wow.
No, I haven't seen it.
That's
Was it good?
crazy. Yeah, we watched it and it's, look, you know what? It's really, well, I don't know. I don't know if I should say anything because you guys might.
How long is
Will
it?
you ever do
How
an
long is
episode?
it?
It's like a full length episode. It's like 42 minutes.
Oh,
So it's like
it's like-
Dreamland then.
yeah. It must
I
be
was
like
very
3 months.
surprised because when I was watching it, it's
Interesting.
pretty much like a regular episode. It's got the main title sequence has a slightly different animation, but it
Yeah, Dreamland does
feels
that.
like it's the same as a regular episode.
Who writes it?
It's got a decent writer from memory, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember
who.
you. I remember you snap.
Fucking Gareth Roberts.
I don't know if it's
No,
Gareth
but like,
Roberts,
yeah, that's
but
the thing.
I
I don't know
remember
if but
someone.
it's someone mainstream.
It was
Do you know
someone
what I mean?
mainstream,
Someone
but it
who's
wasn't.
not
It wasn't Phil
just-
Ford. Like
I wonder if I'm curious if. Sorry, I don't want to go into that. Can I just talk about it for like a minute?
Don't.
I won't
no
spoil
spoilers,
anything. I'm going to talk
'cause
more
maybe
about.
we'll do an episode
well,
down
good
the
old
line.
Martha's back.
I'm
Yeah.
talking more about the behind the scenes. I'm
Okay, yeah.
curious if, and this is just speculation. I wonder if the writer knew it was going to be animated when he was writing it or not, because what happens in it, and I won't say what happens, but it's definitely bigger. The budget, you know, what you can do in animated scape, you know, you can planet hop and that sort of
Yeah.
thing, which you can't quite do in a TV production because of the budget of having different sets. So I wonder if he did write the episode knowing that it was going to be animated, because
I'm
some of
pretty
the stuff
sure-
I'm sure if he knew it was going to be live action, it wasn't going to do
This could
what
be
they do, which I
totally
won't
wrong.
say what they do, but they do.
This could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was always planned to be animated because
Yeah.
I don't think it was shown as one full thing. I just have this weird inkling in my head that it was part of that totally Doctor Who. You know that show? And so
okay.
like 5 minutes of an episode.
Isn't that what they did with? So I'm looking up who wrote it. Isn't that what they did with
Dreamland
Dreamland?
was a similar thing where it was in 6-minute parts for like the red
Oh,
button
really?
service.
It
Red
does
button
feel
service.
like it could have been that.
Was it really fast paced and lots of like kind of weird cliffhangers came out of nowhere?
Let me
and
put it
stuff
this
like
way: it wasn't necessarily like that, but it definitely every 5 to 8 minutes changed location. Let me put it that way, which I
Yeah.
think would fit pretty well into like.
that. Yeah. So I think totally Doctor Who had a little
Released in
segment.
multiple-
Okay, he wasn't. He's not really a normal Doctor Who writer. It's called Alan Barnes,
I've never heard of him.
but it says he wrote a load of like Eighth Doctor stories, like comic book strips and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And he's like an editor at Doctor Who magazine, right? So for some reason, I thought he was actually like a known writer, but apparently not.
There you go. Maybe we should watch that at some point.
Fair enough.
Shame
I
we
mean,
missed it when we did season
I
2.
guess
Yeah, I feel like we kind of missed a bit of a. I feel like we missed something there. We should have probably done. I remember Dylan was not yabbing on to me to do it, and I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Oh, we'll do it," and then we just never
it's
did.
funny because I didn't watch Dreamland, so I don't know what they had in Dreamland. But I will
Oh, you're in for
say,
a treat
in
then,
it,
honestly.
in Infinite
Christ.
Quest, they do have moments that are very much like a regular episode. Do you know what I mean? But it's it's the audio. So it just feels more detached, which is
Interesting.
the whole reason I brought it up, was to say that when you're watching something animated, the line might sound emotional and the actor might say it emotionally, but if the character
yeah.
animation just does a slight change with their mouth.
I know, because I said to Aiden, I was like,
doesn't
if
quite
Dreamland
feel
was
the same
live
way.
action, I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. Concept.
But
The animation's so.
But the animation in Dreamland with Peace and Love was fucking awful.
Yeah.
So, we should watch it.
Unfortunately, it just doesn't convey the same.
I'm excited as to like eventually explore all those routes with you, Aiden, my 25%.
That's me. Wait, what routes? What routes are you talking about?
Just like, all the spin-offs and,
Yeah.
like
Bit of like a
Torchwood.
dollop of classic here and there.
Yeah, a bit of a
Which,
scoop
by the way,
of
I don't know if I
classic.
mentioned since our last game, but I've watched all of Torchwood season 1 now.
Now you've stepped ahead of us. We've
Yes.
not even
Yeah,
done that
that's
in the
right.
review.
I reckon you'll catch up to us soon. You've really on
I
I
think
think I
season
so.
will.
two.
Well,
A week.
what we need to watch now is
Well, yeah.
now. So we've watched Voyage of the Damned. So now we need to watch Sarah Jane season 1, Torchwood season 2, and then we can watch
Yeah.
Doctor
You're in
Who
for a treat.
series
Context
4.
for people listening. Dan's watching with his partner
Yeah, so
Doctor Who
I've
from
watched-
start to finish, including the spin-offs of
That's
the revival.
right. So I've watched only Doctor Who. I actually haven't watched the spin-offs. So like when we watched season 3 with Martha, I'd watched it, but Kath hadn't. But when we watched Torchwood, neither of us had watched any of it.
Yeah.
And when we start Sarah Jane, I haven't seen any Sarah Jane myself. So
I reckon you're in for a treat.
Really excited
Oh,
to do
me
Sarah
too.
Jane someday.
Me too.
Really
Me too.
So is it good? Because I said to Kath, I was like, I said,
It is very
from what
good,
I've
man.
heard, because you said the first episode wasn't great,
I don't like the first episode.
but
Was it
but
Enemy of the Bane?
It's
Invasion of the Bane.
Invasion
We haven't
of
watched
the
it.
Bane.
We haven't watched it.
It is very like, it's for a younger audience.
Okay.
But still really good. So,
Okay.
if anyone
Because I
wants
sort of
to-
tried to temper her expectation for the first season. I just thought it was going to be
First episode.
all right.
But in particular, from memory, I haven't watched every episode.
Uh-huh.
From memory, it is consistently good. But from series 4 and series 5 both feel like you really feel like you're just watching RTD Doctor Who because the characters have grown up
Okay.
and it feels like way more modern.
yeah.
Still a little bit kidified, but it's like
Yeah, I was saying that to you as well. I was like,
Yeah.
I was saying to Dan, like, it really doesn't feel like a kid's show all the time, which I really like.
I'd love to watch a new spin-off with I know it's
Yeah.
classic, but bring in Ace as a fucking lead.
We stand Ace.
We stand Ace here.
Okay.
But then
As an
bring
adult
in,
now, I
yeah.
assume.
Well, as like a older, she'd be like Sarah Jane's age, now,
Okay.
maybe even a bit older.
Okay.
But so bring her as the lead, but then have like Clyde and Rani there. Maybe bring in someone from Class, and then like
Hey.
one or two other characters.
It's like a Misfits.
And it was
in the
it's
Doctor
kind of
Who
like a
universe.
misfits of different things that. And both Sarah Jane and actually all of Doctor Who spin-offs haven't really finished properly.
Go on then, bring back Martha.
That's true, isn't
I
it?
actually would love Martha to
Wow,
be like
that's
recurring
so
in that.
true.
Yeah.
They haven't.
None of the spin-offs have finished because obviously
Yeah.
Sarah Jane, tragic that she passed away mid-filming of the last season of series 5, which I wish we got that finale. It just sounds epic.
Oh, so they had planned one. Oh, that is sad.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't meant to. Well, they haven't said if it was meant to be the last season. I know
But
the
they
ratings are
planned
pretty
like
low.
a
but-
final to that
Like,
season.
she passed away
Yes.
mid filming, didn't she?
Yeah, mid-filming.
Oh, that's
but the
sad.
finale was called what was going to be called the Battle of Bannerman Road. I think that's what the road is called that
Yeah.
she lives on. And
Oh, that's kind of cool.
and it was going to have, the classic companion Joe that comes. Oh, you probably don't know because you've not watched Sarah Jane. She
You
comes
mean
back.
John Bishop?
Dad.
There's a classic companion Joe Grant. She comes back into. There's an episode in series 4 that Matt Smith is in.
Yeah, Russell writes it.
It's Russell writes it, and it's Matt Smith, Sarah Jane, and another classic companion Joe.
yeah.
And the series 5 finale was
okay.
apparently going to have Sarah Jane with Joe back there, and also Ace was going to come back for it.
No shit.
Which just for me is just like
So Ace is a different companion.
Ace is the final classic companion.
No
she
shit.
She was with McCoy.
Awesome. Yeah, she's with McCoy.
Wow, so they planned that even. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. They didn't do
Yeah.
it.
And there's also so the Big Blue Box podcast. God, everyone's going to stop listening to this and go there because every episode I just say how good Big Blue Box podcast is.
Oh yeah.
They're good. They're a bit funny, but they're not as
But
funny
you
as
know
us.
what? You need
We
people
say
like
things
us
like-
to analyze it.
We talk about cum Doctor Who, and that's what's the important
Yes.
shit. But the Big Blue Box podcast, they've, okay, hold
They're
on,
not
Dan's
brave
doing
enough to mention.
Connor's doing a sound
Come
thing.
Matt Smith.
That's Amy coming. That's lovely.
That's for context. That's the Good Man Goes Well when Amelia's baby, what's it called, Melody?
Yeah, when it pops.
Yeah. When you learn it's actually just a load of flesh.
Um,
On
Fuck,
this
what was I
show,
gonna
we
say?
acknowledge sex.
we acknowledge cum.
Not like those Bibli fucking.
But the Big Blue Box podcast, they do they do an episode
I
of
don't
New
know
Who.
the show, so I'm not.
They rotate through an episode of New Who, an episode of Classic Who, an episode of Torchwood, an episode of Sarah Jane, and they finally ran out of Sarah Jane the other day and did
That actually sounds pretty
last
cool, to be
episode.
honest.
Us in a year or two running out of
Now I
Doctor Who
kinda take
episodes to
back what I
review.
said.
But
They
yeah,
don't all review them in one episode, do they?
no, so they do one of those.
That's pretty cool. That's
So
sick.
they basically do one episode of a series a month. So they
Okay.
do one Doctor Who, one Classic
Oh,
Doctor
that's
Who,
cool.
one Sarah Jane, one Torchwood.
If we were smart, we would have done that.
Yeah, probably. No, I just want to get through Doctor Who faster.
we just get this shit over with. We'll be done.
And they just finished Sarah Jane, and both of them didn't watch it on launch, and they were.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were
okay.
amazed at how
Oh,
good
wow.
it was, and they both really fell in love with the show.
I think it's
Oh,
really
that's
good.
sick. That's great.
and they were saying the ratings are low, but it's still consistently good. It definitely was gonna
Look at
end
that.
on season. No, sorry, they definitely were gonna make a full season 5. But then they weren't sure if it was going to go for season 6 as well. And
yeah,
there's
so
little
it was yeah.
hints as well. Clyde and Rani, they're like just friends throughout the show, but they kind of become quite close. And apparently
Yeah.
in season 5, there's a couple of references that maybe hint to them maybe wanting something a little more.
Ah,
but
okay.
we don't see any of that realized whether Russell's
Yeah.
plan was always to just keep it like never actually do anything with it,
Yeah.
or if they were going to get together in the actual final would be.
I think you can find, honestly, and you'll find this, Daniel. I think you
Yeah.
can find enjoyment even in class. Like, I think you can find enjoyment out of all the spin-offs.
Even in
I really think you'll love them. I mean,
no, I'm keen. I really am.
What's
You watched
funny,
Class
'cause-
or not?
no, he's never seen
no,
class.
never watched Class.
Shit.
So I've still got rest of Sarah Jane, rest of Torchwood, and rest
Well,
of
you know, like, you know
Class.
how,
Yeah.
so Chibnall writes a lot of Torchwood with
Yes.
Sarah Jane. It's a
Yeah.
lot of Gaff Roberts. Like, he's the
is.
one who writes all the
okay.
trickster stuff, which
The
So,
worst thing is he writes
which
the
is-
final Sarah Jane episode as well.
he's very involved in
that's
it.
tough,
He's
yeah.
very involved in it. It was like, you know how Russell started Torchwood, but then kind of Chibbers took over?
Yeah.
Ryan
so
Weiss, it's the
do you
same
guys-
with
do you guys
Gav.
know if they had the same writers' room for all the Doctor Who shows? Or
I don't
was
know.
it a different writers' room?
It
for
definitely
each
would have been
show?
different writers' room.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be
I don't know.
chaos.
Hey.
But there was definitely a lot of.
Or not the
writers that
but
were
was it the
just-
same writing staff? Or was it like, do you know what I mean?
I don't
Like-
think it was completely, but I think
Okay.
there's a lot of crossover there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
Well, I think as
Crazy.
well, you know how I
Wow.
said to you when we watched the season 4 final, how amazing it was that we watched it from the beginning. I said the one thing that'll make it better is if you do what you're doing, Daniel,
Yeah,
and watching
yeah.
the spin-offs with it.
That's crazy. That's the
Because-
next series I show.
I nutted watching it, like
Yeah.
with just watching season 1 to 4. You, my friend, are gonna have the most
No, well,
insane
yeah,
experience
yeah,
when you
I-
see
I-
all the spin-offs
Yeah.
with the Sarah Jane stuff and the Torture stuff come together for season 4.
I think I always enjoyed season 4, but the only thing that I was the season 4 finale specifically, the only thing that I was a little bit underwhelmed by was that I felt like it was too busy, like too much going on. But that was only because I didn't really.
It's still a bit
know
busy.
who
Don't
the
worry
other
about it.
characters. No, I mean it is still busy. A bit
Don't worry
busy,
about
but
that.
I also
Yeah.
had no fucking idea who a lot of these other characters were. I kind of knew. I knew who Jack was, so I knew what Torchwood.
But not the hub
was.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hub was. Didn't know
Yeah.
Gwen at all. You know.
Yeah.
And when it came to Sarah Jane, I knew Sarah Jane. But I didn't know her fucking kids. I
Yeah,
don't
Luke
know
and
who they are
stuff,
to her.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm keen because a lot of Sarah Jane. I think every episode of Sarah Jane I've only watched once.
Excuse me. I mean her
and-
younger brother.
Oh God. And a lot of them I've skipped quite a few and yeah, and I just remember as a kid being like, oh, it's all right. But now like
Yeah, I was like, you.
I get the score, the theme song in my head, you know.
Oh,
Oh,
and you know what I noticed, and I'm going to bring this up a bit later because of the Toclafane, but when I
Toclafane.
watched the season 3 finale, I noticed that they used some of the Torchwood themes
yeah, it's slowly in it.
in those episodes. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Like,
So you
that
saw
was
how
so
it connects now.
cool. Oh yeah. So I see how it connects plot
pretty
wise.
sick, hey?
It was so funny because Kath was saying to me, she was like, "What did Torchwood do for the year that?"
You'll see.
Oh really?
Yeah, you see.
But they undo the year and the.
Well, they
spoilers for anyone who
definitely,
hasn't watched.
I told you, they definitely know he's been gone,
Okay.
and they don't really let it slide.
No,
Like,
no, you mean the year that got erased.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm saying the year of.
So while
Yeah, but-
whilst,
The
Sound
Master
of
was
Drum-
torturing the Doctor
Whilst
and-
Last of the Time Lords was happening, the final.
oh, even
So what
though,
happened in that year?
Though he got
assume-
taken back,
Yeah.
right?
I'd assume
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm saying
Oh,
because Kath was
right.
like, "Where are the Torchwood
Oh,
people?"
the year that never happened.
Well, the
right.
Yeah, how
Master-
Martha becomes the last hope. You know.
the Master says, you know, I've sent.
Yeah, he
Tosh
does.
off
He
to this
says,
place and this
yeah. He
place.
says, I send them on a
A
witch
wild
hunt
goose
to-"
chase.
Yeah, he
he's
says,
like,
he's
yeah.
like, I send them
I
on a
sent-
goose chase to Finland or some shit.
I love how
It's
Russell's
something
like, how do I get rid of the tortured
Yeah, no,
crew?
and you know when that line came up, we were both like, okay,
Yeah.
now
There's
I get it. Yeah.
There's a good line in Turn Left when you go.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I was going to mention
Okay,
that.
all right.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I won't spoil it, but
Yeah, it's a really cool line. In Turn
Yeah,
Left,
I've found a lot of interesting like crossover with it. I have.
It's really fun when you know the little dots that they place.
You know, it's also interesting because with Jack, his decision to like jump on the TARDIS, even that becomes so much more extreme.
yeah.
When you realize
Yeah.
that like he chose that over the tortured people, like that's harsh, you know?
I feel like almost the best way to watch it is
Yeah.
to like split up season 3 and Torchwood and kind of watch them simultaneously.
I almost
And
was going to
then-
do that.
and then
Like
Like,
with a mixed
literally-
bowl. Like
No, because-
yeah.
Purely,
Well-
so the finale leads straight into Utopia for anyone that doesn't know. The season 1
So-
finale of Torchwood leads into Utopia. So that would've
Here's
been
what
cool.
I considered doing, but I didn't do, but I might recommend it to anyone else listening. In Torchwood, they actually have an episode set at Christmas.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do. There's one of the episodes is
Oh, yeah.
set during Christmas.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, surely that must have come out, or if it is set at Christmas, it would have been the same Christmas as Runaway Bride. And then you could watch them one by
interesting.
one. And then when Doctor Who catches up to Torchwood, you would, it would make sense. So that's what I thought would be the most technically like chronological way. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
To watch it.
I think it's awesome what you're doing though. I think, I don't know, like maybe in like a couple of years time when this podcast is in the grave, I can rewatch them all
Can't
in
wait.
chronological order.
I can't wait to just watch whatever Doctor Who episode I want to watch.
I know that's the most annoying thing. Like, there's
Well,
something I want to skip
I've
to.
been enjoying rewatching it. We watched season 3 in like a week and a half,
But at
like
least
it was pretty quickly.
With you guys, you
Three's
can just
great.
like watch it and just keep watching.
Yeah,
I know,
that's what I mean.
it's so
That's what
hard
I'm
not to
Me
watch
and
Good
Connor,
Man
we
Goes
watch
to
one
War.
and we see
Obviously,
the next time trailer for the next
I know,
episode.
and you're
and it's
like,
I want to watch it, but we
And that's
can't.
what I mean.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. I've really
so
enjoyed.
bad.
Is I've really enjoyed being able to like just fucking go.
well, I'm
for
waiting,
it.
because I watched the Come two-parter. That's Rebel Flesh and the Almost People, by the
For
way.
anyone that
If anyone
doesn't know.
Heads-
The
heads
Come
up.
two-parter is.
So I
Coming
finished
soon.
that yesterday, I think. Coming soon, I love it. I think I finished that yesterday, and then like I can't watch Good Man Goes to War till we go to Margaret River because I want to watch it with you.
Fuck yeah, you do.
Oh fuck yeah. so
I'm gonna Amy and Good Man Goes to War.
Oh no!
what do you do, Dave?
What are you trying
Sorry,
to do?
I burped a
Aim?
bit.
Are you bringing your notes up?
I'm bringing up my notes. Yeah,
I'm gonna go
we
to the toilet.
should go into the episode. I think at some point.
So was that all the news? Just to recap.
That was the news. It started as news and then we just rambled.
So all that was news.
The only thing I was going to say was the collection season 24 is out in the UK, not in Australia, because Australia sucks nuts.
So can I ask with these collections, are the collections just one season?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the
so
past-
it's like a full season though. It's like
Yeah.
got this.
I don't know if you remember like back in the day or how much you're into this, but back in the day, they used to just release classic episodes on DVD and it would just be the singular story. So it'd be like 4 parts.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've seen that at the
At JB Hi-Fi, it would be like just, rows of them.
Just
They've
the-
never once been released in an
just a
actual
whole
season.
season. Okay.
Which and obviously remastered on Blu-ray, updated special effects and sound and a fuck ton of special features. Season 24
Oh, yeah?
it's the shortest season of Classic Who, but it's one of the biggest box sets from the amount of special features. It has like 3
Oh, okay.
documentaries that have been made for it.
No shit.
And a bunch of like I think there's like
And that's all on the collection.
yeah. And I
Yeah,
think there's
wow.
like something like 20 hours of studio footage of like
Yeah,
it's like
no
between
way.
takes. Like season 24 is notorious for how it starts. It's so
Yeah.
season 23 was a Colin Baker season, but
Mhm.
at the end of that, BBC was like, we don't really, the fans aren't vibing with you too much. We want to get rid of you.
Wow.
Will you come and do one more story at the start of season 24? And then we'll bring in Sylvester.
No way.
And he was like, fuck no, I'm never coming back. No, I don't think it was
No
that brutal.
shit.
But I think his reasoning was like, I don't want to have to miss out on other potential work just
Yeah,
to come back
yeah, of
for
course.
one story,
yeah.
which is fair enough. So it starts with like a almost off-screen regeneration. Colin's not in it at all.
Wow.
And I think it starts with like some lasers and the TARDIS flying around. And then it like cuts into the TARDIS and everything's
No
shaking.
shit.
And it pans down to like
Him
Sylvester
regenerating.
McCoy in a wig, in a Colin Baker wig.
What?
And then like a bit of regeneration light, and then it turns into Sylvester and he stands
Wow.
up. So there's like all this like what's cool on the
That's
on the
amazing.
collection set is the studio footage of like Sylvester sat there in the wig and how they quickly try and like swap him out so they could do the effect
Yeah,
where
of
it fades
course.
in and stuff like that. These
Just
collection
real
sets are
quickly,
awesome.
sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I heard once, and you can tell me if this is not real or not, but this guy I watched on YouTube, he was saying, like, I don't know if this was a rumor or something, but there was one of the Tom Baker sets, apparently they had to change the rating because in some of the behind the scenes he swore too much and they had to like bleep it out. And it was like, obviously it was alluding to the fact that
He swore.
it's like you knew he was swearing.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
true or?
I'm not sure.
I really didn't notice any of that.
No, I haven't seen those behind the scenes. I want to get more into the behind the scenes because
Right.
the more I get them, the more I'm keen. And the thing
I mean, that's
great,
what the value is as well. Like having them.
Because apparently he didn't really give a fuck
Yeah.
on set. Is that true?
the end.
Like, yeah.
mate, at the end of Tom Baker's run, he was a pretty mess. He was very sick in season 18.
Oh, really?
And I'm pretty sure he just got married to Lala Ward, his companion.
Oh
I
my
think.
days.
Is this
Oh,
a thing?
really?
I don't know. I could be totally wrong here.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
apparently
I'm
he would
pretty
like
sure he got
spaz out on
married.
set. There was like something with a kettle or something. He like threw a kettle or something.
Pretty sure he got
Yeah, no
married and
shit.
divorced to Lala Ward whilst filming season 18,
Wow.
whilst Lala Ward was still his companion. This could be so wrong, by the way. So look it up yourself, kids. But I think this was
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, the way
I
you
think
tell
that-
it, it's an interesting story.
very interesting story. But then like he was so not in the mood because so after Sladen left in season 14, he was like, I don't want a companion, send me off on my own.
Like a
Wow.
specials almost.
Yeah, and so he got
Give
one.
me 24 heaven cents.
That's it. But he was like, he got one story on his own, Trial of
that's
the Time
good.
Lord, which is pretty good, pretty popular
good.
one. And then the next story after that, they introduced Layla. It was
Yeah,
an alright
okay.
companion. She's
Isn't she the
pretty cool.
cave woman?
Cave
Sorry,
woman, yeah.
cave woman.
They go by Neanderthal these days.
I apologize. I'm not going to say the quote that Ethan did.
The men, they just.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. But from then on, he had a regular companion, and come season 18, he'd gone through 3 different companions, and John Nathan Turner had taken over the new showrunner. So
Okay.
Tom's last season was John's first season as showrunner.
Oh, God. That's
and-
And he's like, I'm out.
Well,
With peace and love, I'm out.
apparently Tom was like, he was getting sick of it all, and they brought in like 3 new companions. One of them was
Wow.
Adric, the young kid,
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Waterhouse, who is just a whiny character.
That's
and-
Peter
and
Davison's,
Tim.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's the end of Baker's run, so it goes into Davison's.
Oh, so he's in with both doctors?
Yeah.
Oh, is
Only a
he?
few episodes.
No shit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so he's like a whiny kid,
Pete
and
Davison.
apparently, like he would come to set, and Tom Baker would just like kind of blank face him and just like not talk to him and shit.
God.
And then in his second last story,
Oh, that's awkward.
Baker didn't know it was gonna. He didn't know that Logopolis was gonna be his last story, and he like went up to John Nathan Turner, and he was like, I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, okay.
And JNT, John Nathan Turner, he was like, great, sounds good. We'll write you an episode, and you're off you go. Like John Nathan Turner was so fucking keen for Baker to go.
Wow, so he was just ready.
Do you think it's because when Tom Baker was being the Doctor, was he as popular as he is? Like, because when you talk about Doctor Who, everyone, if you think of like the classic era, people would always say Tom Baker.
Yeah.
So was he as popular? Was he like a sensational hit when he was playing the
Oh, yeah.
Doctor?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so everyone was like, that's who they associate with. That's when Doctor Who went for its like peak when it was classic.
Yeah.
So that point went a bit like he probably was like feeling it. He was like, I don't want to get typecasted. I just want to like move on. or
Well,
something
he
like that.
definitely got typecast. He did 7 seasons, Connor.
Yeah.
7 fucking
That is
seasons.
crazy.
And not 17 like 10 episode seasons, 17 like
Well, he
24,
is the
26
most
episodes.
he is the
Seven,
most
yes,
classic
yeah.
Doctor, I would say. It's who everyone
Yeah.
like, even like the Simpsons when they briefly show the Doctor in like a background gag, it's always Tom Baker's
Baker,
Doctor.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like it's always the one they go for. It's like the most recognizable Doctor.
The thing is, the more seasons you do as well, it means the more reruns you're in. And the
7
more
seasons. Was that
everything,
the most seasons a Doctor did?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because all right, I'll
Back
give you
in
a-
my day,
We did
Doctor stayed for
for
7.
seasons. What's his 3 season shit?
I'll give you a quick bit of trivia. It was so Bill Hartnell, Mr. William Hartnell. He did
Billy.
3 full seasons and regenerated 2 stories into season 4. Regenerated Patrick Charlton, who stayed for season 2. Stayed for season 4,
4.
5, and 6. End
Wow.
of season
So he
6
did 3.
regenerated into why can't I talk? John Pertwee.
John Pertwee.
And we went into colour for 5 seasons.
Wow.
John Pertwee, followed by Tom Baker's 7 seasons, Peter
Shit.
Davison's 3 seasons. I think Colin
Peter
Baker
Davison.
comes in.
Yeah, Pete
I don't
Davison.
think Davison finishes his 3rd season. I think Baker comes in a couple
dead.
of episodes into the end of his 3rd season.
Okay.
But Baker only does 2 proper seasons,
Yeah.
followed by McCoy's 3 seasons, and then obviously Paul McGann's movie.
Good. Didn't want it to. Next.
I just wanted to flex my nerd knowledge. Okay.
I can't believe that. And surely Jodie goes for breaks that 3 season shit.
I'd hope so, but you never know.
I doubt it though.
I think she'll probably do what Tennant and kind of Matt did is 3 seasons and a bunch of specials.
Would make sense with
That's
how things go
that's
these days.
to be fair, that's also the standard as well. at
So
this
what?
point, you know.
So thanks, Connor. It took a while for you to find that soundbite.
I'm trying to find something else, but anyway.
Anyways, let's get in
Well,
to the show.
50, 50, 50,
Can I,
50, 50,
Daniel,
50,
this is-
50.
oh, I
We
got
stopped
it.
it.
with
No,
it,
we
'cause
stopped it. We stopped it for you. You can talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
We
could've
cut it off.
made
What do you
Oh.
want? You demanding?
You can play the full thing. No, I was just going to ask you
Feel it
about
now.
this BritBox business. Have you heard about this?
50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50%.
Have you? Do you know what it is?
BritBox. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Is it? Yeah, is it good? I mean,
I mean, it's got all of Doctor Who on there, which is cool.
yeah, and but is it in good quality? Like,
It's just the standard definition ones.
This
Yeah,
is the
okay.
first time for me.
Wait, so how does that work with like Stan and the rights and stuff? Surely, because you know how on Netflix doesn't
well,
have
but
Doctor Who
the
anymore.
interesting thing with BritBox is BritBox has the classics.
Yeah, that's
BritBox
what's-
has like
Oh.
every
Oh.
classic.
All of it, just in SD, not that Blu-ray stuff.
Well, that's where I'll watch them.
That's why the collections are like exclusive because it's the only way to get them in remastered. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
The streaming services.
I'm just trying to
classics.
understand.
This is the first time for me.
I'm very excited for when season 24 comes out in Australia though, because I love McCoy's the season.
Yeah,
I've watched
hell
all
yeah.
McCoy's so far.
I love
It's great.
a little Bo Peep, you know, with the cane and all that.
Yeah,
Bo
Whip me
Peep.
daddy.
Yeah,
Whip me daddy.
yeah, yeah.
boy.
Yes, Daddy.
Today, like I said about an hour ago, we're talking about. Today we are talking about The Doctor's Wife, written by Neil Gaiman and directed by Richard Clarke, who you may know from Gridlock. He directed Gridlock. He directed The Lazarus Experiment, and he will direct Night Terrors and directed a couple of episodes of Life on Mars. I think it was season 2.
Love Life on Mars.
Wow.
So yeah, directed a few episodes there. Weird to have a season 3 director come back at this point. But obviously Neil Gaiman, he's the big.
And, you know,
name
there
on
wasn't
it.
a lot of work out there at that point. You know,
There you
he
go.
was taking what was coming.
Yeah, so we can't brush over this. Neil Gaiman was like,
Big
I
writer.
know back in the day this was fucking massive, and I had
Massive,
no
yeah.
idea who he was.
Either.
Oh yeah,
Now-
Neil Gaiman. Yeah.
Now you know I don't. Have you guys watched Good Omens? Because you
No,
really should.
I watch it.
I haven't.
It's on
I heard it got
Prime.
renewed for
Because
season
that
2
is
the
by
other
Neil
day.
Gaiman.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
look, I'm sure Amazon, since season 1 came out, I'm sure Amazon's been like,
Make
Neil,
one.
when you're feeling a season 2, and he's probably been like, just wait a moment, wait till I'm
Right.
ready.
Yeah, maybe during COVID
Um,
he was like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, apparently, because it's based off of, I believe, a book that him and his co-writer at the time wrote,
All right.
and they had plans for a second season. For a second book, and that they never actually made. That co-writer's passed away since I don't know when that was.
Oh my lord!
I
Really?
believe he's passed away. Pretty sure. Yeah.
Wait, between the two?
No, between the books.
Wow.
They
Oh,
made
okay.
the first book and then
Oh,
they made the
okay.
second one. But I don't know if they actually planned on making a second one, but they had a lot of ideas of like, oh, if we did make a second one, this is what we do.
Yeah, I see.
And so apparently season 2 is actually bringing that to life.
okay,
Which is kind of
okay,
cool. And
interesting.
the promo image they've released just as a little post they made looks really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
keen. It's very much like
The first season always seemed to me like a limited series sort of thing, but
yeah.
I mean,
But it's one of those things where it's like a limited season that was like 5 years ago. So
open enough to
it's
have a
fine
second
enough to do
season,
another one. Yeah.
Wait,
And
when did it
it's
come
so
out?
good. I think it came out like 2016 or something like that.
Really?
Maybe
Wait,
not.
really? I think it was. I thought
think
it
it
was
was
2018.
Maybe A20,
Couple
maybe
years ago,
2018.
yeah.
I could see that.
Is it Michael Sheen? Is that who? It
Michael
is?
Sheen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they
he
seem
is.
because they did that TV show together recently in lockdown. They did
And
the
what's the other one?
Yeah,
Dave.
yeah. David Tennant. Did he
Yeah.
do Doctor
Ted-
Who? Was
yeah,
he in
that-
that
David
episode?
Yeah, what was he?
10
I've seen
inch.
him from something.
I think 2019 actually. Sorry, I'm so wrong.
David Smith, is that his name?
David
David
Smith.
Smith.
Smithy. Matt Smithy.
Sorry, no, sorry, David Capaldi.
That's the one. Yeah. So
Well, they held close because they did they did that COVID show together on the BBC.
well, something that you
David
might not know,
Whittenant.
and I didn't know this until the other day.
Okay.
This guy's just everywhere for me at the moment because I saw Good Omens season 2 being renewed. So that's Michael Sheen. A random episode of Top Gear I threw on. He was a star in the reasonably priced car, and it was just a random episode from like 2007 I put on, and he
This
was
is Michael Sheen.
Oh, wow.
Michael Sheen.
Uh-huh.
Shackleman.
Also, Michael Sheen is in this episode.
He does the
He
voice.
plays
Oh,
House.
he plays
the
House.
house.
He's House.
Oh no
I
shit!
Crazy.
I
Doesn't sound
knew-
like him.
I kept thinking.
I knew
yeah,
I
kept
kind of
thinking,
recognized
like
it
who was
somewhere.
the house. Yeah,
And I
okay.
meant to when the credits came on.
Oh wow.
Do you know what I did this week before we jump into it?
Yeah.
I randomly put on this Simpsons episode this week, and it's from a later season which I don't normally watch, but it's called The Book Job. And Neil
what job?
Gaiman, exactly, you know the
The
you know
what-
the,
the
you
what
know
job?
the bank job,
The blowjob.
yeah, the blow job.
BJ.
You want blow job
Go on.
in between season 2.
Yep.
It's called The Bank
Oh,
Job.
it's crap.
Carly's crack season 5 shit. To be fair, they see Kylie's cracking God complex. You don't find that out until season 7, though. Anyway, Neil Gaiman did a guest star voice on the episode, so I watched that yesterday. And do you know what? For a season 23 episode, it's actually really good. You don't really get a lot of good episodes in the later seasons with that show.
Well,
But
Gaiman's
you know,
a cool guy.
he seemed, but you know what? He seemed really cool in the episode. And also, sometimes when they get guest stars in The Simpsons, you can tell they're not. They can sometimes be writers who don't normally do like voice acting and stuff. But Gaiman felt completely natural.
Gaiman, slightly different. He's like a really cool guy. He was a guest on David Tennant's podcast.
okay.
Really good guest. and
You know, David, I actually wrote my own episode, Doctor Who. Well, 2 actually, but we don't count the second one.
he was talking about what he learned from Moffat as well as a writer. He learned a lot.
Wow,
that
imagine
helped
learning
him in
from
Good Omens
Moffat.
a lot.
Yeah, no shit.
Mainly, I think the main thing he learned was like, you know, you've got this grand idea, but
it
then
goes nowhere.
BBC's like, money. You can't do that.
Yeah, definitely.
He's learned not to be like fuck the BBC, but to sort of
you told me
embrace
this.
it and be like, all right, new challenge. How do I convey that in like a smaller scenario?
Yeah, definitely.
And that really is,
Well,
is
that-
big on this episode.
That's
There's a lot of
also
different
exactly
things.
what I mean when I was talking about Infinite Quest before, about like it felt like the writer wasn't considering those things, which made me think they would have known it was animated. But
I'm going to urinate before we get into the episode.
well, can I just say, speaking of Neil Gaiman,
Oh no.
Kieran
That was
Culkin.
Daniel who said that, by the way, who's a guest star on this
I'm trying to
podcast.
find a way.
Do not act like that was us.
I'm trying to find a way to make a connection. No, I'm making a connection to the next topic. I'm saying Neil Gaiman. You know, speaking of that, in Scott Pilgrim, Kieran Culkin plays a gay man. And in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the narrator turns out in the end to be Bill Hader. And I had the same feeling about finding out that it was Bill Hader than finding out that the house was voiced by Michael Sheen.
Oh,
Otherwise known as Shaquille Mean.
oh, oh.
It was purely for the sake of making a. We need some elevator music up in here.
We do, right here. Sorry.
It was in the
Sorry.
process.
Do you know what I learned from last time? It was so loud.
The elevator really was it.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it down there.
That's good. That's good. Keep it quiet. Pave over my. I wasn't. You know what I was trying to? I was trying to make a connection to that. I wasn't.
Do you know what? I think, you know what? I totally am on your side. The only thing I will say is that the Doctor Who community are so fucking. You could literally say the slightest thing and they'd be like,
Well, all right. Aiden,
dare
you
you.
tell us.
Yeah.
What this episode's about. Is that the next in
about a
the
house.
story or?
Yeah, we should probably do that at some point. We have been
Oh,
going.
sorry, where were you up to?
for-
Am I rushing you
for
ahead?
37 minutes? No, we're about. Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay.
We'll do it.
Did you have more to bring up?
Oh,
I mean, we'll just talk about. Oh well, no. Well, we're kind of talking about.
Oh, you're
what
going
it's about
through it.
anyways.
I see.
But yeah,
Oh.
Neil Gaiman, big deal.
Oh.
Cool to have him on the show. His second episode isn't quite as good from memory.
I know, it's so. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one, yeah, cracker.
How
Cracker.
dare you.
This episode, so yeah, like I said, The Doctor's Wife. It's the 4th episode of the 6th series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who, which was first broadcast on the 14th of May 2011. In the episode, an entity called the House, voiced by Michael Sheen,
Bruh.
tricks the alien time traveler, the Doctor, Matt Smith, and his companions, Amy Pond, Karen Gillan, and Rory Williams, Arthur Darvill, into being lured to the asteroid
baby.
the house resides outside. What? Into being lured to the asteroid the house resides outside the universe by sending a distress call to the Doctor's time machine and spaceship, the TARDIS. What a shit worded sentence. Oh my god. The house removes the matrix of the TARDIS and places it in the body of a woman named Idris Saran Jones, who proceeds to help the Doctor prevent House from escaping its pocket universe with the TARDIS.
this
God,
is how
these
I
things-
went.
They get worse and worse. I gotta say,
You know what
you write
Dylan said last
no,
week?
no,
Okay.
no.
Nah,
fuck me.
Dylan said last week a good point. He was like, they just get worse and worse, I feel like.
Yeah,
They
like,
used to be
last
quiet.
week Dylan goes,
What,
you know,
the descriptions?
why not just say it's Doctor Who on a pirate ship? This should
Where-
be it's Doctor Who in a Neil Gaiman world.
Where
Because
do
it
you-
so
pretty much.
feels like
Where do
Neil
you,
Gaiman in
uh,
every way.
Oh, yeah.
What is the synopsis from? Like, do you have a?
That's the Wikipedia.
That's
one.
Wikipedia.
So do you always get the Wikipedia synopsis?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Just got to it. At this
That
point.
is weird. Maybe whoever wrote it just.
Ah.
Well,
got a bit lazy as the seasons
anyone
went
can
on.
edit Wikipedia, so it could literally be some simp on the internet. Oh my!
fuck.
You just knocked John Boyega off the.
Oh my word!
I just abused John Boyega, a John Boyega toy.
Poor Johnny boy.
That
sure
was
we
not
Poor
FN.
Finn. Should I jump into it?
I was going to say one thing.
Like, go ahead.
Let's
Let's just jump right into it.
jump right into it.
No,
This
go ahead.
episode finished,
Guys.
and I just thought,
Finishing big and finishing first.
can't wait for the house
Big
to finish.
finishing.
No, it finished, and I was like, what a fucking adventure that was.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's rare.
Oh, yeah.
It's rare to finish a single part episode and be like,
Yeah.
that was a fucking.
You really went
wild
on
ride.
a real. Oh
Like,
yeah.
And it just does so well. I know that's kind of like a wrap up thing, but I just.
Well, actually, I showed my now girlfriend. Yeah.
Applause.
Yeah, I didn't. I actually haven't told her yet. Thank you.
I just have to make that.
Thank you. Well, she wasn't my girlfriend last week. She's only been my girlfriend since last
And then
night.
you showed her the doctor's wife.
And then she left me.
Like, all right.
No, but I don't know why, but it was COVID, so she was like in lockdown with me. And like I was like, look, I don't have to watch this with you, but do you actually want to watch it? So I showed her it, and look, I think she's too kind to say anything bad about it yet. I don't think we're in that part of our relationship yet because she knows how much Doctor Who means to me.
Did she go? It was good. Is that what
No,
she said?
I think she definitely said more than that.
acting.
No, but to be fair, I put that poll on Instagram saying, do you think it's overrated? And she did vote no. So she didn't think it was overrated. But it was, I agree. I was saying it down the other night. I was
she's trying to
like,
get in your good books, you know.
definitely, she's already in my good books. You're the best, Kimmy.
Well,
But I would definitely think that like it's not the best episode of first show. But she'd
game of
seen,
layup and
like
he dunked.
everyone, I feel like they've seen bits and pieces of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And she's seen episodes here and there. But I did show her this one. And that'll be the last we speak of it. Anyway, because I swear, I don't think I got anything out of her about it. So there's nothing to bring up about that.
I love it.
Anyway, you ready to jump into it?
Let's do it.
Let's just
go.
jump straight into it.
Epic
House.
Neil Gaiman
Ah.
episode.
Oh,
Nephew.
go. Nephew.
House.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of course.
The Corsair.
Oh, the Corsair.
Damn boy.
The Corsair.
Uh,
Anyway, we're on.
Corsair's arm.
On an asteroid.
That's a spoiler.
Excuse me. Yeah. On this planet. It's just called Idris.
Idris. Yeah.
Idris, yeah. So Idris is getting taken away by Arnie and Uncle, and then they're trying to replace her body with something. I wish it was me in your place. Actually, I don't.
Actually,
because it's
I don't.
really
It's
going to
really
hurt.
gonna
So funny.
They're great.
And once again, like
They're great,
The
honestly.
wittiness of the episode, the humor.
Yeah.
Just the
Oh
constant
yeah.
great
It's really
balance of
quirky
tone.
in the best way. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Guys, you
they're
guys-
so good in the fact that like they all make you feel like so uncomfortable,
But it's funny as
but
well.
it's great in the same
You
way.
guys,
Yeah.
If you guys really like that
Yeah.
shit, you really need to watch Good Omens. Like, put that on the next
Okay.
on your list. Like, it is.
I've been
really
mean-
good.
you know,
It's
I've been
just
meaning
6
to watch it,
episodes,
yeah.
and it's
I
It's
really,
like-
I really want to.
so fast paced that it's not a drag at all. It's the same as this. Like, it's quick, it's snappy, like
great.
so full of humor.
Fantastic.
But also like so full of heart. The production design is like this kind of Harry Potter esque
Okay,
production design,
nice.
which is really
Yeah,
beautiful.
I got that vibe from it when I saw the trays and shit. Obviously, I haven't
but
seen the
then,
actual show. but-
Cinematography's nice, although maybe a little bit shot reverse shot at times, but it's really nice and it sounds great. It's I'm pretty sure
It's
the
a good
entire
omen.
thing is directed by Douglas McKinnon, who
Oh
Okay.
shit!
directed a lot of Who,
Yeah.
Oh,
a bit of
wow, okay.
Sherlock, and I believe well I'm watching at the moment Line of Duty. He directed 6 episodes of.
Line of Duty, of course. My mom loves that. Are you enjoying it a bit more now, or
A lot more now. Starts
yeah?
at the start. It's very much like
Wasn't
shaky,
the first
zoom
episode?
in.
Yeah,
Don't they just like arrest some random Muslim guy in the first
Yeah, they
episode?
shoot around.
When did season
Yeah,
one
they
come
shoot
out?
him. Yeah, that's pretty
2012.
That's insane. It only ended this year.
Yeah, well, they come out every 2 years.
Yeah, I
Other than
know
one
it
season,
became
I think.
very popular.
Wow,
A
yeah,
lot
my
of
mom
actors
loves
guest
it.
starred
Hey,
on
my
it,
mom's
hey.
watched all of
Yeah,
them.
well, I was gonna say.
I don't know how much you've seen of it, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of actors have been
Walking
on it.
Dead actor Lenny James.
Yeah, Daniel Mays is in it. I like
He's
him
in
a
it.
lot.
And
He's in
then-
season 6 of season 6 of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He's one of
Oh
my.
yeah,
he's really good.
Without spoiling it, he's only in one episode properly of
Oh, is he really?
season 3. Yeah.
See, I don't know because I know my mum
I
was
guess he
watching
must
it, and
have
I
chosen
saw.
he
to
comes
left.
first credit. He comes up first credit though. He gets
Yeah, because he's
above the main cast.
he's in Night Terrors.
Yeah.
he's an
He's
actor I
great in
really
Des
like.
as well.
Yeah, he's in Des. Yeah, yeah.
And also,
See, I didn't know that. I always thought he'd
Martha's
be like
mum.
main.
Martha's mum's playing a judge
Okay.
in the current season.
She's also like Kim was watching this Netflix show and she's
Oh.
in it. That bloody new Netflix
Kath
show.
said Martha's mum is on Bridgerton.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
is
Kim was.
she?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
That's what Kim
yeah,
was
yeah.
watching. Yeah,
Yeah, when we were watching it, she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she's from Bridgerton."
Yeah,
I was
because
like, "Okay."
she's Kimmy showing me the trailer. I'm like, hey, what's up?
I feel like there was someone else as well, but I don't I don't remember.
Do you want to know some really weird random fact that I heard the other day?
on, then.
They won like some British BAFTA award or something.
Hold that fact. The other person I was trying to think of that was in a Doctor Who thing was a girl. She's in one episode of season 2 of Line of Duty, and she plays Verity Lambert in Adventure of Space and Time. You know, she plays
Verity.
the
okay.
producer. But I think she also
My father, Sydney.
I think she also had a really
Verity.
there you go, season 3 reference to Doctor Who there. I think she also had a very small role in another episode of Who. But I can't quite remember what it was. What were you going to say, Connor?
Oh, just really quickly. I don't know what she was in, but recently, the actress who plays. It was so
she was in
random.
Hyde. Sorry, that's the Doctor Who episode I was thinking.
Oh, Hyde.
Now you can tell your story. Yeah, she's the girl in the house. One of them.
House.
The house.
Tying it in. I like it.
The air hostess in Midnight, the actress who plays her,
Oh yeah.
won like a BAFTA a couple of weeks ago
From Midnight.
Oh really?
from some role she was doing. It always shocks me when actors from Doctor Who like are actually like
Yeah.
pretty big now.
Andrew Garfield.
It wasn't Andrew Garfield. But,
No, I mean he's an example. You know.
Watched him in The Social Network the other day. He's very good.
there's quite a lot of people though.
Social
It's
Network.
Andrew
It all went
Garfield.
downhill from there for him.
Are you kidding?
No. Fuck Spider-Man.
Hacksaw Ridge is great.
I do like
Ridge is
Hacksaw Ridge.
No, that's a tease on. Apparently, he's a really lovely guy. Apparently, Andrew Garfield's great. Actually, Hacksaw Ridge is great.
mean-
Jack Horseman.
Bojack, he's funny in that.
Is it him though? Is he one of the guys that has
I don't think he
I
actually
think
did
that's
it.
a fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
the voice actor.
No,
Jamie
but
Bean.
He's in
I
Far
actually
From- not
think
Far
he's
From
a
Home,
really. I
No
think
Way
he's a
Home.
very, very talented performer.
He's very good.
I just do think that his Social Network performance is probably one of his best.
Very good.
I
You
love
obviously
that
haven't
movie.
seen him crying over Gwen Stacy's body as a kid. That
Oh,
guy.
Lord.
Yeah, let me put it that way. I have seen it, and
I've not seen it in about a decade.
and that's why I say what I say.
You can see him do it again this December in No Way Home.
in Spider-Man. No way.
I don't give a shit about that. I want to see fucking Tobey Maguire.
No way, homie.
No.
Give me Spider-Man 2.
What were you saying? The BAFTA. You've
That's
finished
what
that.
I'll say
Yeah,
when I get to the
um,
cinema.
Yeah, we should
First
probably
scene-
get the
first
fuck
scene of
through
the
this
episode.
first scene.
Yep.
And then, yeah, the TARDIS obviously is like land and shit. It cuts to the TARDIS. Doctor's got mail.
I've got mail. That's awesome when he grabs it.
I've got mail.
And I love
There's
Yeah,
a
it is-
living
it is cool.
Time Lord out there.
Yeah. Oh, and his excitement. Of
The
it.
excitement,
So
yeah.
You believe it.
And
He's
you know
so
what?
good.
Okay, so this is when I'm bringing it back. I mentioned I was going to bring up the
not the
Tocqueville
Infinite
from
Quest.
season 3.
Yeah, boy.
The Infinite Quest again.
Watching this episode, I was reminded. I was like, this is Doctor Who at its best. Where, we watched it season 3, and the Tocqueville is such an interesting thing, and like there are a lot of things that come up in season 3. The time thing as well. And I watched that, and I was
The fob watch,
I
you
would,
mean?
yeah, the fob
Or-
watch.
yeah.
I was like, I'd love to see that stuff come back. I'd love to see them do it again.
Well, there
And-
you go. We've got to watch the feature of the Jadine. And then it all
God.
comes back.
There we go. But I was gonna say what,
They didn't show the football watch again, did they? Did
Not
they?
the fog watch, but the whole.
but it was the
Pretty
same
much the
idea,
same thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say what this episode made me realize is like this is Doctor Who at its best, where it's like it is able to reinvent those same feelings of like wonder and all that at these concepts and ideas. Because I mean, if you think about the whole Time Lord, what do they call it? Like a black box for a Time Lord. It's similar to the Tocqueville, where it's like
Yeah.
it used to be a person. At first, it appears to be something more mundane, and then it's whatever. So it's like a similar concept.
It's
but
such a
they
cool
reinvent
idea,
it.
though. I
They
wonder
keep
if,
things
like,
fresh.
Do you
It's
think,
such a fresh
do
idea.
you think
It's
as
so
like,
great.
but do you feel like, I know Neil Gaiman's such a big writer. Do you reckon they let him have more leeway with having such a huge episode in Doctor Who? Do you know what I mean, though?
Maybe.
Because but it's the Time Lords,
That's the
though.
thing. It's got the
Do you
Time
know what I mean,
Lords. It's
though?
got the
Yeah, but they
TARDIS.
don't-
Yeah,
It's
the
got a lot.
TARDIS is, it's like a lot of shit.
But
like,
they don't do any. Like, it doesn't change any law.
I know, but do you feel like if like a writer
isn't it
came in and
interesting,
said
hey?
something,
It gets so
Maybe.
close to being involved
Yeah, but
in
it's
like
not,
changing
though.
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
that defines the universe, but then it just doesn't quite.
well, it's
maybe,
the,
but
it's
I
the
know-
bubble with the side bubble, but it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
that. But if it helps, there you go. Like,
But like, I think
no,
from what
but if
I
it
read-
helps, yes.
From what I read, Gaiman sat down. He went out for dinner with Moffat, and they were just like talking. And Gaiman was like, "So, can I write an episode, please?" And
That's hilarious. So I was wanting to ask you about this. So
Wow,
do you
that's
know the story behind it? Then like, so
yeah, they would have.
he friends with Moffat before?
I don't know if they were friends before,
But he heard
I feel
Steven
like
got
British
it and-
writers, they get to know each other.
Know each
sometimes
other, yeah.
you would do that with anyone who you want to network with. You'd say, "Hey, can we get dinner and I can propose a
It's really
this
awesome.
venture
That's
together.
really awesome that Neil even wanted to do it. I think that's so cool.
he loved Doctor Who.
That is cool. That is
Really?
Yeah, he's always loved Doctor Who.
Wow. Okay.
So he hasn't done an episode until that was his first.
That's his
Doctor Who
first.
episode?
And then he does
Wow.
Nightmare in Silver
I
as
didn't
well.
know that. I didn't know it was his first episode.
I remember being the biggest thing when it was coming out, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Who the fuck
Who
is
the fuck's
this guy?"
just
And I
remembered
hated it as a
Coraline.
kid.
Is Coraline his?
I knew Coraline, and I was like, "The hell."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is an interesting
But
character. Isn't
I
he?
Just
remember
like
I
a-
hated this
there's like-
episode.
you can tell when it's his shit, and it's wacky and weird. And this episode, I love it for that. And
He's definitely got a voice. He's same as like Moffat and RTD. He's got his own voice
Yeah.
distinctly as a writer.
totally.
But the TARDIS lands, it kind of gets drained of its energy, and then you can kind of get the
She's
gist of the
dead.
TARDIS. The TARDIS is dead. And then, and then the goes into Idris, and then we got the credits.
Which I like now. It's took 15 episodes.
With the credits?
But I now like the credits.
I got the credits now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You know,
I'm definitely getting used to it, but you're probably not as used to them, Dan.
Well, look,
I
let me put it this
think
way. I
I'm
watched
kind
the
of
Voyage of the
overrating, I
Dam
guess.
credits the other day, and
don't.
that's just the
that
go.
theme
all
goes
right?
so hard.
That, even Cat though.
Is that-
I mean,
is
Cat's
that
a
when
big
the series
playing into
starts?
piano. Yeah.
yeah.
So Voyage of the Dam is the first of the series 4
that-
intro.
yeah,
And honestly, that fucking middle eight.
Dude.
That,
dude, it's like that bass just got lifted, and you're like,
Yeah.
that bass hits different. I mean, that season is a fucking banger of an intro. I mean, look, the season 6 one is fine, but it's just standard. Do you know what I mean? It's not. To me, the season 6 intro, like Matt's intro until season 7, is pretty much similar to like the 1 and 2 intro of
Yeah.
Doctor Who. It's like standard, nothing special. You know, season 4 is S tier.
It is. And then closely followed by 7B, but no one else agrees with me, so I'll just sit in the
7B.
corner and
F
cry.
tier. F tier.
Sad.
Easily.
Sad.
they come out the TARDIS, they're like,
Look, I mean, with peace and love to 7B. That ain't it.
It looks so pretty as well.
Nah, look, I get what they were going for.
isn't
but-
when it like changes color every week?
yeah, it's like a new
that's 7A.
intro.
That's 7A. That's fucking 7A.
Oh, that is 7A. Oh, sorry,
7B is like
I'm
red,
mistaking.
And
No,
it's
but
got Matt's
7
face in the
Oh yeah, that's
galaxy.
not so bad. That's
And
pretty
I just
good.
like that it's
That's
not
pretty
just the
good.
Time Vortex for one.
Right.
All right. I thought I
Hang on a
was
minute, doesn't the
mistaken. I'll
title
take back
have a
my-
different?
No.
Yeah, the title does.
No,
The
it fucking
Doctor.
doesn't. It's silver.
the Doctor
It's
Who-
just silver every week. It's silver every week.
Is it 7A that has a title?
It's
that has
7A.
different?
It is 7A.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
when
is
it has like
7A did the.
Dalekadium on the first one.
Yeah.
Remember they did the posters every week.
Yeah, for all of season 7 they did.
Yeah, they did
Yeah,
the poster.
They're awesome. I want more of that. Give me more of that shit.
Yeah, but it was weird they never did them again. It was like, why do them
That's
for
what
just
I mean.
one
Give me
season?
more.
Yeah.
Well, now like at least still after that they still did like not posters.
It
but
made
they
me
did
wonder if
really
they were
good.
going for like what were they going for? I don't know what.
For like series 8 and 9, they didn't put together full like cinema posters like they did for series 7,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
still made like
Nah,
basically
those season
posters.
7
They were
the
going for
artwork.
Moffat was like we should go for a movie every
Those
week.
posters
Yeah.
were pretty cool. I will
But
say.
like series 11 and 12, you just get nothing. You get a couple of stills, of
Yeah.
stills, and it's nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
well, anyway, after the intro, what happens?
Tell me.
Well, they land on the
After
planet.
Arthur Darville's name crosses the screen, what happens?
Finally getting that credit.
finally, after
They're on the
He
planet.
dropped
It's a
his king.
bubble with a bubble in the bubble, but it's not like that. But if it helps,
more like a
they go-
banana.
When they kiss.
Yeah,
Like-
Idris and Doctor Kiss, the TARDIS and the Doctor Kiss for once.
I love how chaotic that scene is.
Oh, and then
It's
the
so
biting
crazy.
as
It's very
well.
chaotic.
Yeah, there's just
And
so
she's
much
like,
going
"Oh,
on.
biting! It's like kissing, but there's a winner."
There's a winner, yeah.
Brilliant.
That's-
There's so many great lines.
It's well written, but it's like, man, that actress, I don't know the name, but she is phenomenal.
Ann Jones.
Oh man, she
It's really
fucking
good.
kills that role, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
great.
And it's not like I feel like it's such an episode that could be so cringy if it
fully
done right.
understands what her character is like.
Yeah.
You know, it would be easy for the actress playing or the actor or whoever playing the titles to not fully grasp the weight of that character, but
Yeah.
she just jumps into it like.
You know what else is immediate from that first scene? Obviously, bit of props to the VFX for it because that looks great as well. But the production design of that entire like
Oh.
the
Oh,
entire
that's sick.
episode,
Yeah.
That
amazing.
is so cool.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, every time I watched that, I was like, "That's such a cool." And I always was like, "Where did they film that?"
Yeah.
Like, it's such an
That's
interesting.
as well. The VFX
set.
for the wide, like it merges so well with the practical
Yeah.
side of
It does.
Like it doesn't
Yeah.
look like VFX.
the only
really.
thing
It's
that,
really
that is
good.
pretty clearly CGI as the TARDIS graveyard, but that's later. in the
Yeah,
episode.
there are a couple of shots. I thought it was
But at
alright
the
for a
start,
little bit.
no, there's like one shot where it's like,
It's all just a TARDIS
okay, I get it,
graveyard.
it's the wide,
Yeah.
like whatever. But no, that first set is really cool.
So the Ood is back. So
I love
Okay,
that.
can
nephew.
I say?
did Gaiman just want Ood back,
No.
you reckon? Oh, okay.
No, wait for behind the scenes for that one.
Ooh.
Can I say about the Ood?
Go ahead.
You know, the doctor's like, oh, it's not scary, it's an Ood. And I'm like,
I love how Rory's like,
I was
Bitch,
kind of that.
please.
I was like, bro, the last like 7 times you've interacted with Ood, they've
well, he
turned out to be
literally
evil.
says, like, when the Ood gets his arrow, he's like, once again, couldn't save you. Like, literally. It's like this line I didn't notice before, but it's like, oh, another Ood gone. The Ood never makes it. It's always like dead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing.
Another one I
I was
couldn't
like,
say.
did you really think this sign was going to be different?
Dude, the Ood just cops
Every
it.
time
Every
you've met
time.
the Ood, they've been fucking abused like this.
I actually think my Ood fact didn't quite make it into the behind the scenes because that's quite a bit. So I'll give you it now.
Go on.
I think Gaiman wanted it to be a new creature, but the Beeb were like, money. You're gonna have to pick something
I'll
out
make
of the
it an
closet.
Ood.
You know, so
Yeah, you know, we've got
yeah.
an Ood outfit.
Because you
in the
said-
back.
So he got to pick whatever he wanted.
You
Like,
said
look,
something.
we do have an
Yeah.
Ood outfit ready.
They did though. That's the point. You said something really interesting. How Gaiman said to keep the 10th Doctor's set.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
that
That's
is
some.
so
I'll
cool.
wait for behind the scenes for that because there's more.
That's
I actually
right.
found something new about it as well. That I didn't quite
Okay,
know.
but I thought when I was watching it, I was thinking about that. I was like, that's awesome.
I have a question about that as well, but I'll ask that.
Like Idris passed out, they put chuck her in the into the Idris. It depends where you're from. Like Idris Elba almost. And then they chuck her into the cage, and then like the Ood's looking after her, and then so the Ood's is a nude. It's the Ood
The Ood's nephew.
nephew, and then it's
Nephew.
auntie and uncle,
Auntie.
and they're like,
Auntie.
we'll take you. The house is everywhere.
It's
You're
the house.
standing on him,
That's the beauty of it.
and it's
You're
like.
standing on him.
All the performances are so cool
They
because it's
really
like
are
it's
great.
so eerie and like you feel
is.
gross. You feel like you need a shower. Like it's like
It's like the closest thing I can describe to is like, you know how you have like a haunted house? It's like a haunted planet. You know what I mean? It just feels
Of
like
course.
that. Like
well, it's like the dump
Yeah.
yard almost. Like, and we later find out it can't all
also,
just be
I will
TARDIS.
say,
Sure,
I mean, I know it's kind of obvious, like it's in the concept and everything, but I love the way, I love all of the TARDIS's lines. You know how they're like, the tense is played with.
Yeah, yeah.
And when she meets him, she's like, you stole me, you'll steal me.
Yeah.
Like she gets
Oh, then
it
she
mixed
mentions
up.
the rain, like with Rory later
And she
on.
mentions the petrichor, and she
Yeah.
mentions the boxes as well. The little
Yeah,
boxes.
the little boxes that make you sad.
Which is also why I brought up the Toclophane,
Make you
because it
angry.
kind of, in terms of plot,
Make you
they're
angry.
used in the same way. Do you know what I mean? Something
like
that
the
at first
reveal, yeah.
seems something, and then at the end you go, oh, "This is human," and then it's like, you know, or not human in this case,
Accurate.
but yeah. So
Honestly, watching it, sometimes I was like, damn, it's as if like Moffat wrote this
it's like a similar
with
plot
like all the
device,
kind of
but
stuff
it's
that he
just
would
so
normally
new.
do.
yeah.
Mm.
Just consistently great. What's next?
Well, like we get to introduce the house, and by the way, what I really think I liked mostly about this episode as well, like you know how I always say to you, like this episode would have done so much better. It didn't even need a villain, and I feel like in a good way, this episode didn't really have a villain, which I really like. I mean, it had a
Yeah.
house, but you never
Yeah.
saw him, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's like it didn't, and I know that Ood was there, but only for a little bit at the end where it was like being possessed. But like,
I believe
do you know what I mean?
when Gaiman was like sort of pitching it to Moffat in that dinner, and you know, he said like, you know, I've got an idea. I don't know how much of a script he had, but he was like, I've got a pretty solid
clear
story
concept,
here.
a treatment. Let's put it that way.
Probably a treatment, yeah. What he was sort of saying was, you know, I want to do something that's never been done before with Who, and I think
Certainly.
this episode is. It's so
It
good.
really is.
100%.
It's so
You know,
new.
I was going to say it's the first time that the TARDIS has ever been characterized. You know what I mean? Before it's always an inanimate object.
Exactly,
It's really
yeah.
interesting that they do that.
Mm.
I think it's great.
It's great. It's freaking fantastic.
So anyway, the doctor's like, I'm gonna go visit Idris and stuff. But before that, I left my sonic screwdriver in my breast pocket in my jacket, and it's like my other jacket. I remember when I was just like, what other jacket? But it just makes sense because they go back into TARDIS and they lock Amy and Rory in.
Yeah.
I think also like with stuff like Curse of the Black Spot, and I've watched the Flesh two-parter, I feel like Amy and Rory sometimes aren't utilized very well.
Yeah.
I feel like for an episode that's very doctor focused,
They get
they use
stuff to
Amy
do.
and Rory so well.
Dude, this episode,
so
Amy
well.
and Rory are perfect. Like
100%. They use them so well. Like with the first two part, I feel like Amy kind of gets sidelined for once. Rory actually does have a bit of the the bit of the
Action and
stage.
all that, yeah.
But yeah, with this episode, I feel like it handled it so well, and then the house takes over the TARDIS. Again, for an entity you don't see, I think House is such a great villain.
Really good.
Now I know it's Michael Sheen. Like the voice is so
I really didn't know
so
that. That's
good and
interesting.
just so daunting. Like I when I was watching it and that scene in the TARDIS, it's like, why shouldn't I kill you now?
I was in the trailer as well. I love that. Why shouldn't
Oh,
I?
I was gonna say there's
Such a great
two
line.
trailer shots in this. One which is what is it? It's like we're at the end of the universe.
Yeah.
Where we've never
Ever been.
been. That was in the season 6 trailer.
And
they
of course,
milked
I'll
that
kill them
shit.
all.
Yeah.
I'll
And
kill them all.
then the very iconic "Fear Me." Yeah, I killed all of them.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That's some pretty good trailer.
We
shit
have to
in
talk
this
about that line when
episode.
we get there because I have some things to say about that. But actually, I said Kimmy said nothing about the episode.
Yeah.
She did actually say that line was really great when Rory said, "If you kill us now, it's not fun." And it's actually a really smart thing to say. It's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
not fun if
If we just
die
snap
now.
out, yeah.
And I remember saying to Kim, I was like, this was a big deal for Doctor Who fans because you never saw outside the console. You previously seen in like what
Okay.
Christmas Invasion, you saw that other room.
In Classic Who, the companions have bedrooms and shit. By the way.
Bunk
wait, in
beds.
what? In
Romana
what?
has like her bedroom in Classic Who. And
In
shit like
Classic,
that.
really?
Yeah. there's
Well,
a lot
because
more.
I was going to say at the beginning of the episode, he mentions how they have to go through, and he's like, "Goodbye, Squash Court 7 or whatever the
yeah.
fuck."
And Rivers Pool that
And-
caught her in.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you think about that?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah,
caught her.
exactly.
Oh, I thought that was when River went into it.
Splashes in.
Yeah, goodbye,
And
swimming pool.
and the water comes out the door for some
Yeah.
stupid reason.
But the swimming pool's in there for Jonathan and the TARDIS.
Oh, it's a new desktop.
He must have just re-downloaded
well,
it.
here's the thing. It's such a shame that they mentioned the squash court and there's like the river stuff, and I kept thinking, I was like, wouldn't it be? Oh no, I was like, it's such a shame that the one episode they actually show more of the TARDIS kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, literally.
I was like, they could do something so cool.
Well,
by
I guess
showing the
also,
rest of
also
TARDIS.
the fun of it is that you never really see it, and I feel like
Yeah.
this episode really handled it well with like all
Yeah.
the hallways and stuff, which we eventually
Well,
see.
and that's the thing. I think that the only way that the rest of the TARDIS is interesting is as a little bit of an aside during an episode. Do you know what I mean? So like even the episodes with Amy and Rory where they kind of go off to the side and have a chat. That's a good way to use like the space of it. You know?
The corridor stuff. I know we're not quite there, but that stuff like the whole way through, it's kind of like, oh, it's just a bunch of corridors.
It is
they're
just a
running
bunch,
through, and
yeah.
it's quite
Yeah,
boring.
yeah.
But you can throw it into the angle of it's House playing with their perspectives and they're going around.
Yeah.
corners, and he's just, like,
I
giving
always
infinite
took it
corridors.
that wasn't exactly what the TARDIS looked like,
Yeah.
but that was House using some of the TARDIS interior to just fuck with them. That's
Yeah.
what I always took that
And
as.
it looks great. It fits the episode, but I'm like, surely it's not a very homely looking corridors.
Yeah.
Like I'd be
yeah.
in bed and I'd be like, I need to go for a piss.
Yeah, and you
And
walk
I'm
through
like,
this.
Well, am I gonna die? Like,
Yeah, literally. Well, I think the lighting as well doesn't quite help
Exactly.
me.
I like that green, that dark green they use a lot in this episode. Looks
Yeah,
really
they
nice.
use that a lot, which is interesting because it's clearly a visual choice because they do it in the lighting as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not just a post thing, but that works great.
It does, yeah. They bring it
the-
into the old TARDIS console room, and it like
yeah.
goes through
The
all the different
smoke
bits.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
And
cool.
it's funny because I will say about season 6, they are so much better at mixing physical effects with digital effects and that sort of thing. In the early seasons, in season 3, there's this moment. It's a small thing, but I don't know what they do differently in season 5, but they just managed to do it that much more believably. But in season 3, in the Family of Blood episode, when their family, quote unquote, are talking to each other,
Mhm.
you can kind of tell that they turn on a green light to just
Yeah.
shine on the face of
okay,
the
yeah.
actor. And it's fine. Like, it looks good. It's a good effect.
Mm.
But the way it's done, you can tell
Yeah.
a little bit. But the way they do that sort of stuff in season 6 in general, but in this episode too, oh man, it
At
just
the end of the
adds to
episode,
it so much.
when Matt's running around, and all the regen energy is going
Oh,
around.
that
and
the
it
lighting
merges.
in that
Looks great,
is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It really is unbelievable.
But that's
yeah.
in about half an hour's time. Connor, what's next? Look at that segue. What
Yeah,
a,
me
what
and
a
Aiden
great
trying to,
host.
fill
What a
in.
great-
Well, they were like auntie and uncle, obviously, and then like they start dying off, and the doctor's got an.
They don't die off till way later, don't they?
We got
Do
he
they?
he got
I don't know.
well, he got Idris out of the They die off, and then he gets Idris out of the
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm
out of
dumb.
the
He
prison.
realizes that they're shorter lifespan, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like now that they heard it's the last TARDIS, there's no reason for him to be here anymore, so they die off.
Correct.
And then he breaks Iris out of the prison, and she keeps searching for this word, which we eventually find out in the episode.
Hello.
Hello.
Alive.
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 Um.
I love that because like, it's such a painful, beautiful word.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
when they finally say it, it's like, bruh.
and
I
she
always
struggles
thought it
with
was-
it the whole episode. Too.
I always thought it was Doctor when I was rewatching it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is it Doctor? Is it Doctor? And they're like, yo, we need to go and help Amy and Rory. TARDIS is gone. They're running around in circles. And like, we can't do anything. We can't do this, can't do that. And it's like, he finally finds out it's the TARDIS inside an actual human.
Can
That's
I say?
not my phone going off.
Connor's got a phone call.
Can I say one thing as well that I think is such a great, just shows how this episode I think really uses plot really well. Is a lot of other episodes of Doctor Who starts one way and the pitch is one thing or the concept is introduced a certain way, and then the way that it's resolved or the way that it ends is a bit out of the blue. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
a bit like
yeah,
the
I'd
Doctor
agree,
whips out his screwdriver or something. But this one, both the Corsair and the TARDIS being, Idris, the resolution and the start of it are both introduced at the beginning. Like not the, but,
as well.
it-
Part of that, the whole deleting rooms thing is right happens right at the start.
Yeah,
and then that is the resolution
exactly,
as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like everything that is used later in the episode is introduced right at the start,
Correctamundo.
and it means that everything in the episode has so much more time to breathe and feel believable and like enjoyable. So
I gotta say, I know we say this every week. Murray's score, woof, brilliant.
Yeah, really
Oh,
stood out this
man.
I
week.
love every bit of it.
Man.
There's even like a cool bit. I don't think it's on the score on the soundtrack. Might be, not sure. But when Amy and Rory start running around the TARDIS, there's like this cool, like it's not quite techno, but it's not classic Murray like dun 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 dun.
It's
dun.
like
It-
wow,
No, there's like shit like that, but there's also like a little
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a-
like a little electro.
it's almost a
thing
bit like a
happening.
Funhouse version of it. Yeah.
Kind of like it's I don't
Like
know.
when you
I
go to the
loved it.
circus and there's like the mirrors that
Yeah.
are all fucky. Yeah.
Well, I got that vibe from it as well from that
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Also, I like how you said like deleting the. I also like how the TARDIS is almost like it's almost like an iPhone where it's like or like a phone where it's got
Yeah,
space.
and it's called like desktop.
Yeah, you need to delete
Yeah.
space for like get some gigs and stuff. That is really cool.
Yeah.
The whole like building the TARDIS scene and like you never
great.
took me where I wanted to go, but I always took me where you needed to go.
That is a
great.
fantastic.
It's
The
very
whole
beautiful.
Push and pull open door thing.
Yeah,
is really
every
funny.
time.
And
yeah.
you know what?
time.
That sort of thing,
900
that
years.
shows
every
that
time.
Neil knows the show. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
totally.
That
Wow.
stuff makes it feel so much more rooted in the show.
There is one thing about that. So
Okay.
yes, the Doctor does always pushes when he goes in.
Yeah.
And police boxes should open outwards.
Mhm.
But he the little bit of fucking
The bit of
the twirly.
the bit of info on the
Yeah,
TARDIS,
yeah.
the little
Oh
bit of
yeah,
text
yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
yeah. Like the brochure.
It does say push. I think, or some- no, I read something somewhere. I'll have a look now.
There's a contradiction.
But it's meant to
somewhere
say
in the,
pull.
There's something that like Gaiman is actually like kind of wrong in saying that. I don't know. I'll have a look. I'll see what it says just to be sure.
Gaiman.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Neil.
he wrote the elevator music used to be hit, but he
Whilst Aiden does that, Dan, wrong one. You have to go all the way.
Never mind. I don't know how to get off of that screen.
that's okay. Yeah, go on, Connor. What was your?
I was just going to say.
There we go.
So, what do you think of the Ood? Because they're in this episode and they've obviously been in season
Like I
2
said, I think-
and 3.
Well, I think unfortunately the Ood are a cool character, and I think in the Saint Pit they used really well.
Hey, wait till you watch Planet
Wrong.
Ood.
I was
Just, do that, yeah.
I was wrong. It does say I don't know what TARDIS Wiki's talking about. It does say pull to open. So Gaiman's so right.
Yeah, so Gaiman got it. Yeah. yeah,
TARDIS
yeah.
Wiki convinced me that Gaiman was
So why
wrong.
there was a fact for saying that he?
TARDIS Wiki's wrong.
Damn.
Again.
Who can trust TARDIS Wiki?
Wow.
But
Happened a
does
few
the Doctor
times now.
always push?
Yeah, he's always pushed open. You never see him open outwards.
Wiki
do you?
must.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he always clicks and it.
I
Yeah.
love how he even tries to click in this episode. He tries to click.
Yeah, he
it doesn't
does,
even
yeah.
open, yeah. Which is classic.
The thing with the Ood is that I think that, like I said, they've been used well before. Unfortunately, in this episode, they felt more like a placeholder, you know? And like I said, I think with the Ood, it's too easy to fall into that cliche of just having, oh, it's the slave creature whose mind can be overtaken. Do you know what I mean? It's at this point, that's kind of all they've done with the Ood, you know? And isn't that what happened in is there a Ood in Waters of Mars, or am I mistaken?
No, it's just
I thinking?
Ood's
Just the
only,
two-parter and then Planet of the Ood and then this one.
and they occasionally get seen in some
And
like
Satan
bar
Pit,
scene
like
and
I said.
stuff.
Yeah, that's what I said. The first two-parter.
Yeah, the Satan Pit,
And
and
Planet
then
of the
it's
Ood,
Planet of the
sorry,
Ood, yeah, and like it's the BBC's costume department, and they get shown in like a couple of bar scenes where they just walk
things
around.
like that. Oh yeah, End of Time. There's one in the bar.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few.
They've never
there's a
been used,
few
they've never
through
been
the
used.
series, but
I
I'm
really
just
like
saying,
them as
like,
just like little placeholder things. Though I kind of like that.
I do. No, I do.
But they've never
but I'm
been
just
they've never been
saying-
used again as a villain.
No.
Well, and all I'm saying is I just don't think that their presence in this episode. It could have been anything. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. Well,
it's,
that's the point.
unfortunately, nothing was Ood specific. Do you know what I mean? So that was the only thing that was a bit of a shame. I mean, although one of the best moments, and this is audio, so I guess how to describe it, but you know when Rory puts his fingers under his chin?
Yeah, I did.
And
yeah,
that is one of the funniest
when he-
moments. Like, yeah, that is a
yeah, I
good
do like that.
It's gross when it says like put your hand
good
out or
moment.
something, and I think Amy puts her hand out and she touches.
And she
the-
touches the
Yeah.
Ood.
Ugh.
Oh,
That's
gross.
gross.
dude, that always
Yeah.
creeped me the fuck out. And it's like,
I can't
first of all, by
see.
the way, Karen Gillan can clearly see in that.
I know
scene.
that's one thing that took me out of the episode. I'm like, yo, the lighting is so.
She's obviously able to see.
How can you not
But she's
see?
like,
Well, can we talk about those scenes of Amy and
she's
Rory? I
touching
think they're fantastic. It's the second, I think. You have to go all the way
No,
back.
wrong. No, it's not that segment. Fuck.
You have to go.
Come on. There you go.
that's the sound.
I think those that scene. Well, those scenes with Amy and Rory in the hallway is like they're really good.
They're great. We have Rory Death Count number 4. We need like a sting for that, don't we? Rory
Yo,
Death Count number
honestly,
4.
in this episode, it's like Neil was watching season 5 and was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And he
What
was
did
like,
annoy
right,
me-
and he was like, "You know what? Fuck you, Moffat, for killing off Rory so many times."
What
I'm
annoyed
gonna
me though
meme you
is
about
that
it.
like they run through, they get cut off, and they're like, okay, and then like Amy goes in the corner, and Roy's like, it's been hours, and they're like, all right, let's run again together, and they run
Yeah.
and they run
And then
away from each
immediately-
other. I would be holding my girl's hand and being
know.
like, we are sticking together, holding
Immediately,
like
and
this.
it's like, no.
And then it happens again, and it goes,
You know
and then
what?
he's just an old man in the corner going, Amy.
You left me.
For some reason, his nose is like.
Massive. No, well, because you know the reason
That
for
felt
that
very
is that
gaming.
the nose is the nose and the ears are the two parts of your face that never stop growing.
Really?
Yeah, that's why if you see old people in movies, they normally have bigger noses and
They
usually longer
Kinda do,
ears.
to be fair.
Because
fucked
ears and nose. This is what I've heard. I
What a
may be
shit
wrong.
thing.
But yeah, I know it's weird.
Bro,
Ears
my
and
nose
noses
is
are the
already
two
alright.
facial body parts that never stop growing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, why does Rory have a fucking fat ass nose in this scene? It's like
RIP to
massive.
All the kids that
Yeah,
we
it's
know
a-
that have big noses.
I
and
think it's
ears
a
in
bit.
School.
Yeah, I know. It's like when you get
Uh-oh.
old, bro, you're gonna be
Fuck, mate. You're fine. Like,
Uh-oh.
you're gonna be Dumbo, bro.
jeez.
Those scenes are great though, I think.
They're great. So intense. Like I said, the music's great with it.
Well-
and intercutting them really fast scenes between like quite short, but quite like emotionally good scenes between the Doctor and Idris.
When they're
Well,
building the
you know,
TARDIS,
you know what
yeah.
I was gonna say is so great about that whole scene where Amy gets separated from Rory and he starts aging, is that it says so much about both characters. Do you know what I mean? It's not just one character that
2,000 years I waited for you.
because that almost shows Rory's kind of subconscious as well. But it also shows what Amy's biggest fear is. You know, it's like there's so much that goes into what makes that scene
Their performances are
give you
great.
so much emotional depth.
when Amy
Oh, and they
generally,
kill
when
it.
Jamie,
As actors,
when
they kill
Amy
it.
like breaks down, it's really believable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when Rory is like shouting at her too,
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel that as well.
Yeah.
I love
You're
how
like, damn,
Rory
man.
gets knocked out by the Ood. And you're right though, you can definitely see
So good.
like ahead of you and
Yeah,
Amy's like,
yeah. What is going? I
Yeah,
can't
what?
see
I
2
can't-
meters ahead of me.
kind of want to rewatch this episode already.
Me too. When I went to the toilet, I'm like, yeah, shit. Now that Michael Sheen does the House voice, I'm like,
it's tempting.
now I kind of want to rewatch
Well, can we
it.
talk about House? Because House
House is such a great villain.
Yeah.
And I love
I
how you
mean-
don't see him. I always say to you, Aid, I'm like, you know how they always feel like they have to shoehorn a villain in.
Yeah,
but I feel
this
like
is
it's so
just
good you never
bit of
see
green
him.
mist.
Apart from the fact that obviously like House takes over the Ood.
Yeah.
But I think there's a great shot of the Ood where it's like the Ood is out of focus, but you only see its eyes and
Yes,
the.
I was about to say
Yes.
that.
And that's
the
creepy
Ood
as fuck.
When they're trying to
is
get into the control
creepy.
room and they're doing like the smell of petrichor after rain, all that shit.
You just
and
see
the
the-
Ood is slowly coming in the background. That's intense. The way it slowly moves.
Oh yeah. Which,
That direction
I
I
love the
think
green
was
light in
great.
the eyes.
Yeah,
It's
the
great.
eyes.
Can
and
I
the-
say as well?
yeah.
Randomly the other day, like a week ago or something, I for some reason was like, this smells like petrichor. Literally randomly, I was like, what does this smell like? And I was like, it's petrichor.
So it's like, what's that rusted?
The sound, the smell of dust after rain.
That's right.
That's the smell of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it came back because that was the code again to the 10th Doctor's TARDIS.
There you go. Bang it. And in they go.
I do like the scene before though, obviously with Idris and the Doctor, and I do like how like that little thing flies at the TARDIS. It's like ding.
It
It's
does
like,
that. Yeah, I actually laughed. Like,
there's always that
properly
bit.
with
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Like the time was perfect. Matt Theru was brilliant.
Yeah.
And they're like this.
It does that.
Did you find it weird how there's a
like
scene before they get to that where they do the whole after rain scene where they're like this randomly climbing up a ladder.
Sure.
It's like
It's fine.
they just climb up a ladder.
That's funny though because they start.
Hello,
they start
pretty.
talking to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
she's like
pretty
the pretty
one.
one. He's like, yep.
And it's Rory.
And then the Doctor has a look and he's like, the pretty one.
The pretty one.
I love
Hello,
that
pretty.
TARDIS they built. That looks great. That looks awesome.
So you're a classic fan. Did you notice any?
I mean, it's got the round things, but in a more modernized way.
I didn't notice the
That's
Doctor
cool.
was dragging quite a classic round thing.
Yeah. So that's cool. But yeah. it's
Nothing
basic
else.
stuff. Looked awesome. I got fact about that TARDIS that you probably already know, but might have forgotten.
Probably not.
But
Isn't
yeah,
that
was
crazy
cool.
though? Like, before Dan comes back, we go to any more like deep topic stuff. Like, isn't that crazy how that was actually a thing? Like, so many Time Lords actually died there. Like,
Yeah, crazy shit.
and it's actually like a
Crazy
TARDIS
shit.
graveyard. Like,
And I like that you just see like TARDIS time rotors, like, the middle column,
Mhm.
just like scattered around the place. Like, that's just fucking awesome.
you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Thanks, Connor.
Yes.
So they teleport into the TARDIS. They kill the Ood. The Ood becomes air, I guess. They're
And
like
you're breathing in right
in.
now.
Yeah.
Tell me, why shouldn't I just kill you right now?
What did you think? What did you guys? Dan's coming back now. What did you guys think of just the 10th Doctor's TARDIS being
It's
back?
so cool.
It's lovely.
Especially after like I was still a butthurt teen who's like David Tennant is the best Doctor.
He's got the best.
And I
TARDIS.
miss Russell's era, and this Moffat, this dark shit sucks.
Yeah.
So seeing that, I was like, I was rubbing my hands
I
together.
think it was great, and
now I'm more mature, obviously, and I think
Sure.
I think
Moffat's
it's
better.
funny because I
Fuck
think
you.
it's well, I actually have a question about it.
Go on.
Go on. Who you,
Well, I want to say
Jacob?
something else first.
Giving us a question each week.
First,
Go on.
First, I want to say something.
Go on.
What I want to say first is,
Go on.
may I speak? No, what I want to say first is, I think it's great to see, and I think it's interesting because Moffat's era never made a lot of connections to David's era in the same way that David and Eccleston had a lot of crossover. You know what I mean? And
Well, Dan, I don't know if you know this.
Almost if it's the
but
same
it's almost like it's the
writer
same
and
showrunner between
characters.
series 1 to 4.
The more you know.
I'm just saying, it feels a lot
We're
to
horrible
me
people.
like Moffat tried to use season 5 as like a soft reboot and not really revisit characters or revisit places, which, you know.
Chibnall did it best.
But the thing is, RTD, even in like season 3, brings back characters from Eccleston's first season. Jack,
But-
Face of Bow, that sort of stuff.
I
you know?
think series 5. I think both showrunners
a good
handle
point.
it the same. Where series 1 has no fuck all connection to
pretty
Classic
much
Who.
0, yeah.
And then series 2 a bit more, and then series 3 when you see the book of Impossible Things
Yeah.
that the Doctor's
Yeah.
written from his dreams, or John Smith has written. That's the first time you see on screen in New Who.
Yeah, that's right.
Classic
His
Who,
old faces.
Yeah. And then
You just said it, didn't you, when we watched that?
and
yeah.
then so slowly throughough Russell's era,
Such
they
a great
get more and more
episode.
classic
Yeah, that's a
thing. They
good
bring
point
back
because I
Sarah
did.
Jane.
Yeah, I even pointed that out when we were watching it. I was like, that that's
The old
classic
ones.
Doctors. Yeah.
And then series 5 is very much, there's not much from previous bits of Who in
Which
there.
look, I get
And then
why.
series 6,
I
they're
don't, I'm
slowly
not
bringing in.
saying it's bad.
Isn't
But
it-
yeah.
You could also say
I
Jim
think
Knowles
it's
does that.
really-
Because
Series
11, in 11,
has
it's just
nothing.
it's just the Fez, isn't
Just the
it?
Fez.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
That's
it.
right. And
That's
exactly.
it.
In 11, it's different consoles.
And then
different everything,
Skyfall
so-
said Torchwood.
Series 12, they then jump to sort of where series 4 is. No, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
where they're
Torchwood
bringing
gets a
back
mention. Unit. Oh, Unit got mentioned in
I will bring
Revolution.
Resolution, yeah.
Resolution. Sorry, I always get those two mixed up.
God damn, Connor.
God
Now
damn
you're
it.
Doctor Who.
What are they going to call the third one?
Retribution.
Retribution.
Retribution of the Daleks.
What does
Retribution.
retribution mean?
That means like revenge. So that would. Be
You know
That's
what?
got to be
It's
it.
the fucking Daleks
Come on.
coming back for
We
the Earth
planned that.
Daleks.
We planned that.
Retribution's
We
Resolution,
planned that.
then Revolution, then Retribution.
If it's not called Retribution of the Daleks,
Bro,
I would
we
be so
called that.
surprised. Mm-hmm.
Check what date this podcast comes out and come back to us. and at us.
Stamp
Retribution
it,
of
baby.
the Daleks.
Yes.
Banging.
But you're right though. Season 11 just had the Fez,
Yeah, so I guess every showrunner just likes to do their first
and I wonder if
season
that was
to be them,
like
I
Peter.
guess.
Was that
But-
Peter McKee? I
but
wonder if
I
he
will
just like was
say-
like, should we
Mackay.
chuck this? Yeah, Peter Mattias. Sorry, I wonder if he was just like, can we chuck this in there?
Yeah, because he's a big fan.
Yeah, big
But I will
fan.
say the addition of it in this episode, I
Yeah.
think, really is cool. It's really ways to tie it
I've
back.
already
Could've
spoiled
been
how
anything, is what I
how
thought.
McGann
But-
said to keep the set.
Can I?
I already spoiled that. I said McGann said to keep the set.
What are you talking about, Paul McGann?
Sorry,
What are you talking
fucking.
about? Paul McGann is
Sorry.
the
Neil
main
Gaiman,
doctor.
you mean?
Sorry,
Mean
not
Neil
Paul
Gaiman?
McGann. Neil Gaiman. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll get into that behind the scenes.
They
about
kind of
the
they kind
set.
of look like each other. To be fair,
This is a
No.
slightly off-topic
Yes.
question, but this is the question I had about the
Yes, Mum.
the console or the desktop or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I've seen it in real life.
What? So when
all have,
I've
except
seen
Dan.
Except Dan.
interviews with Russell T Davies. I've seen interviews with Russell T Davies talking about why Doctor Who was not HD in the first couple of years, and one of the
Bullshit.
things he said was that
Neil
they would
Gaiman.
have to rethink the way they did prosthetics and sets and stuff like that, because the way that things look on camera on an SD camera is different to an HD camera. That's what I had seen him say.
I think that's bullshit. Like of him to say.
Oh
that.
yeah, no, I agree that he said that, but I'm curious. I just thought you might know. Do you know if they changed David Tennant's
same.
set from SD to HD?
exactly the
So it's
same.
exactly the
They
same.
kept it up.
Wow. So they just literally did not make it more
So
defined.
I'll say it for behind the scenes, but yeah, they just kept it up. That's so bullshit though, because I think like
Because that's what I had heard.
even
Or I
in,
read.
I know like I've been watching them when they're remastered HD, but it's pretty much standard with like a couple of shots look a bit.
Oh,
nicer.
even honestly,
Like-
even in the remastered ones, it's like fine. Like
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like even in
Honestly,
in the,
honestly,
no, in
what
the
they need-
specials, you'll notice
the shit they need to
difference.
fix in the remastered is like lighting, which you can't really
Yeah.
fix in post.
But if you watch like
Yeah.
in SD, like the shit prosthetics still stand out like a sore thumb. Like they're still
No,
shit
you're right, you're
prosthetics.
right,
So
exactly.
I think that's like a bullshit thing of him to sort of be like, oh,
Well,
we can't spend money on
I-
prosthetics, so we won't spend money on cameras. It's
I don't.
bullshit.
I would say in Russell's defense, all I'll say is that at the time he said it, nothing was viewed on a screen more than like
totally.
30 inches. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, he probably wasn't expecting that even the HD version would be viewed on a big screen.
There's
So
nothing wrong with it being
I
in
can
SD.
get
I just
that,
think that's a
but-
bullshit excuse.
No, I agree, especially for someone who literally writes about the fucking future as his day job. He did not predict the future very well when it came to would TV become HD. Obviously,
What I
it
will
would,
say though,
like-
I am just thankful that it's in fucking widescreen from season 1 because like not everything. Like I was watching a Top
no,
Gear.
there's a lot of shows from 2005 that were.
I was watching a
that
Top
were-
Gear from
were they-
2007 that was still
Yeah.
in 4:3. The little
They call
little
that
square.
full screen, which I don't know why they call it full.
Yeah, the full screen, yeah.
Full screen is 4:3. So
Dumb.
I'm glad Doctor Who is in the full quality, and I mean the HD remasters are fine.
To be fair though, like
Let's just say that.
honestly though, one of the coolest things I've ever done is actually go on that set. It
10
wasn't
Doctors set.
yeah, well 9 and 10.
Just like
I'm sure
ours.
you went on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
When I went to the Doctor Who experience, and I'm sure it's probably the same for you. Cooler for me though, because it was the current TARDIS at the time. But because you went on when it was Capaldi, didn't you? But
I went a
for
couple of weeks before it closed, which was
Shit.
really sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Part of the experience when I went on it was because it ends with the museum, which is awesome. But the first part of
kinda
it
like
is like
Harry Potter World.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
But the first part is you kind of go on a bit of adventure and you go through. And for me, it was like some screens every now and then would come up with Matt telling you what to do. With Connor, it was Capaldi because that was the current Doctor.
Yeah,
That's cool.
they
but
swapped.
For mine with Matt, at one
That's
point
sick.
you go on to Matt's TARDIS and people go and they man the controls.
No
and
shit.
you've got to fly it. But it's very much like there's glass over the actual controls and there's a couple of buttons for you to press on the glass. Was that what did you have Matt's TARDIS? Because that's weird.
That is cool though.
You know,
even
so long
with the
ago,
restricted,
maybe.
that is still cool.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we had. I can't really remember,
What I loved
but yeah.
for me, and I wish they've gone down this road with like the aesthetic for Dalek ships. Although I do love the 1 to 4 Dalek ship aesthetic.
Yeah.
In the experience, you go into a Dalek ship for the Paradigm Daleks, the Skittles ones, and they don't go for the shitty warehouse like you see in Victory of the Daleks. They make this cool, like really dark aesthetic, and it's fucking.
Really?
I remember I wasn't a kid. I reckon like 16 or something, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I'm kind of scared on here, and then
It's
all of a
so
sudden,
weird to actually
the
see
Paradigm Daleks come out on like sort of.
a proper Dalek in real life. Yeah,
They come up, but just like not just the Daleks, the actual set, like the
shit.
spaceship they built that you were on was so dark and it was really scary. And I loved it. Kind of a similar vibe to Pete's TARDIS, actually.
Yeah.
I've got to say that kind of color scheme.
I think that's great. One thing I love.
I don't know how we got to this conversation.
Well, no, just as on that, like one thing I've been loving about watching David's era is that they use the TARDIS for all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? Like it obviously in season 1 they do a lot with like the they lift up the fucking bottom. David has that button that he presses all the time, and then there's the fucking in Human Nature that thing. It just comes from the ceiling. You know what I mean? They have so much stuff. Like they do so much fun with the TARDIS console.
Yeah.
That's a really fun aspect of the show.
And like Matt's
Jodie gets
always
to fucking put her hands in
Oh,
it.
yeah,
But
the-
like I love whenever they do fun stuff with the TARDIS
Yeah.
console. It's so fun.
and Matt's like always underneath, and he's got his little like swing.
Yeah, little swing.
Yeah, I love that. Whenever Matt works
That's
on the
great.
TARDIS, it's so cool.
I've always
Like,
loved as well.
Pete.
in one
Pete
of
never
my,
really got much of that, which is really sad.
I don't know. I like the psychic link thing. Like
Oh,
you
yeah, he
saying
did.
that.
That's why
That's cool.
he sat on that chair at the top of the. He sat on the chair in deep breath. He sat on a chair when Clara walks in.
Yeah, he did have
And he never sits on it
the
again.
whiteboard as
and
well.
And the
I was gonna
whiteboard,
say
yeah.
whiteboard that
Or the blackboard, yeah.
does his things on. That's cool. But the other cool thing in that TARDIS, but it's when Smith's in it. Classic, one of my favorite episodes, even though it's a bit shit. Bells of St. John. When Matt walks in and there's like this one shot where he's in the monk uniform and the score is great. It's like dun, 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 and he goes down to the second floor.
he changes.
Of the TARDIS,
Yeah.
and he opens up one of the things.
Yeah.
And he pulls out his
Yeah.
new costume and he throws it off. And obviously there's a cut as he like throws the monk costume over the camera. And he's then dressed and he does his bow tie. That's a cool thing. Also, cooking the turkey on the time engines in Time of the Doctor
Oh
is
yeah.
another cool thing.
Oh
they do.
yeah, that is. They do that.
Does he ever wear the classic pleat jacket? Is it called the pleat jacket?
The what?
The classic jacket he wears,
What are you talking about? What jacket? Just name the episode.
like from season like 1 and 6. Sorry, 5 and 6. Like he wears the classic jacket.
Tweed one.
Tweed.
Tweed. Sorry,
Tweed.
tweed. You know the tweed jacket. Does he ever wear that again once after?
After Snowman?
Yeah.
No.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because he actually. So in.
That's the jacket
This
he
is
wears
so
with
fucking
Amy,
particular.
you heartless
Well,
fiend.
I guess it's probably
in
why I
series
gets rid of it.
5, he has 2 variations of the tweed jacket that are both equally plain, but one of them has a little bit more texture. And then in
I didn't
series.
know that. I didn't know there were two.
Yeah, I
different
didn't pick up
ones.
on it till this watch.
Oh, okay.
And then in series 6, those jackets are gone, and he now has the tweed that has a lot of texture. The lines that is really nice, actually.
His pointy house one from season 6,
Well,
part
that's what I
2.
was going to say. 6B,
Part
they
2
then
one
bring in the
is-
big trench coat.
Yeah,
thing.
that's.
I get it. They were going for like an
That's
Indiana
unfortunate.
Jones vibe, but like just like a big adventurer kind of vibe with the look of it, but it just doesn't look good.
It's just weirdly proportioned. It's,
I got shit because
it's strange.
someone was saying like, oh, here's the worst costume variant of each Doctor on Twitter. And they had the season 6 tweed of Matt on it. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's fucking good. Like, it's not like I love 7B. His 7B looked the most. But like I commented and I was like, bitch, this fucking he's in the series 6B costume and put the photo of him in the big trench coat there. And everyone was like, oh, I love that look. It's my favorite look. And I was like, what? There's a reason it's only in like 3 episodes.
The thing is,
Like-
the thing with that look is that it's not. It's it's not different enough to be its own thing. At least in season 7,
It looks out of place, I think.
At least in 7B, he changes his whole outfit.
Yeah.
Whereas 6B, it's just like
Yeah, it's Let's Go
just the
Hitler,
jacket. It's
Closing
different.
Time,
Do you
and
know
the
what I mean?
final.
It's like,
Yeah, that's the
why
only
would you
outfit,
change
yeah.
just one aspect of the
Yeah.
outfit? Whereas in
So
7B,
weird.
it's like different color tie, bow tie. You know, he's got the vest, he's got the thing.
Yeah.
It works.
I
But
don't mind it in Let's Go Hitler purely because it's kind of like a trench coat World War II jacket. So you can get away with it.
it
being
does
a
kind of
period
work.
episode.
I agree. It does work for that episode. But for the other 6B episodes, it doesn't really work.
Seriously? That's what I remember when he walks up the TARDIS with the newspaper.
I don't
Seriously?
even remember what that is.
Doctor in the bloody
Oh,
cornfield.
yeah. Fuck.
Seriously?
Well, all right. Where are we up to in Doctor's Wife?
That's
We're pretty much done, to be honest. The ooh
Are
gets incinerated. Has like, I could
yeah.
choke you.
Did we find
Daddy.
the black boxes, the TARDIS boxes,
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Time Lord ones?
Yeah, when Smith finds the
Thank you, Daniel, for
Time
calling
Lord
me out.
messages
That was one of the best moments. That's
Yeah.
a great,
Yeah.
great moment.
And
It's
You know
all
what
on
I
my
think
ass to remember all this shit. I forget, you know.
I love that you can tell performance and writing wise that the Doctor at this point in the show has kind of moved on. Because if David had found out that
Yes.
The man
Time
who
Lords around,
regrets
I feel like
and
he
the
would have
man who
been like,
forgets.
Fuck Time Lords. Oh, fuck yeah, get the fucking Time Lords. Whereas Matt was like,
yeah.
there's Time Lords. And whilst he had hope,
What I
don't
like,
think
he was
fully
cynical.
convinced.
No, he was
Yeah.
cynical from the start. From the very start, he was like, it can't be. Like, maybe.
Yeah.
And then even
Oh, yeah, because the ood picks up all the Time Lord sounds.
even and that's the thing. Even when he hears the Time Lord sounds, he's like, he's so surprised. Like, it can't be.
And he's like, this isn't
There are
this isn't
Time Lords
possible.
here.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well, when he opens up the cupboard and he sees all the boxes and he realizes it's all just like a lie.
Yeah. The little boxes will
he
make him
actually
angry.
isn't instantly angry.
Yeah.
And I think if David saw that,
Yeah,
he would have been
he's
like,
like-
you did this.
Yeah.
You were-" But like with Matt, he only gets angry when he finds out more information as to what they actually did with the Time Lords.
It's
that came.
interesting because Matt.
Right, yeah, and that's when he gets angry.
Because
yeah.
he finds out it was all the body parts.
Yeah, because they're like fucking ripping them apart.
The,
That's
the
what sets
tattoo
him off.
and stuff.
It's
yeah.
it's really interesting because when he finds the boxes, it feels like he's almost sad that he let himself hope.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the way he plays it
Yeah.
is just so well.
It's really good.
But it feels like he's disappointed in himself.
It's like I thought I was
he
over
allowed
this. That was
himself-
my previous regeneration
That's the
who
thing,
let it
like-
go
Yeah,
to that
yeah. It's
point.
like he
Yeah.
allowed himself to be hopeful and
Yeah.
he's disappointed.
That's why I love that line. It's like you gave me hope and took away. It's not to make anyone
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
anyone
like,
know what's dangerous, something like that.
Series 1 to 4, Matt's character, the Doctor's character arc is like kind of him getting over the Time War on the Gallifrey.
That's right.
stuff.
That's right.
And it's great when Series 5 comes in and it's just kind of a fresh air. And he doesn't have a massive arc in Series 5. He's just kind of like
Yeah.
loving life. And it's just sort of throughout the progression, he gets kind of darker. It's sort of what his
Well, I do
arc is.
appreciate as well, like in the TARDIS, you know, it is look, and like I only appreciate this watching it with someone who hadn't seen the show before. But like Rory does have the classic line, where it's like, "You said all your people were dead."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but and also I do like how also Amy's like, but you also said what they did in the last days of the Time War, and he's like, yeah, but these people could actually be like,
I'm all good.
he's like, you know, these people could like actually, these Time Lords could actually be different, you know.
Yeah. I was
And
going to
yeah.
say something else for the trailer, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're talking about, I said Series 5 is the fairy tale, Series 6 is the nightmare. And I was like, so to finish this off, what's Series 7? And
The
at first I
daydream.
was like, it's just not. It doesn't fit into that realm. But then I kind of was thinking, especially with Asylum of the Daleks, Series 7 Part 1 is very much, you've grown up. And you're past this whole fairy tale nightmare stage. You know, Amy and Rory are quite grown up in those 5 episodes. And
Yeah, well, they
they've
got a
moved on.
divorce.
They grow apart of each other.
Yeah.
And so does the Doctor, I think. I think he loses that magic spark a bit. And then that gets in the Snowman, that's like really brought because he's like, I'm not traveling anymore. I'm just going to sit in a fucking box the rest of my life. And then Part 2, he gets reminded of what that fairy tale and that magic's like when Clara comes in and she's kind of like, oh, look, the universe. And he kind of sees through it new eyes and he gets brought back into that fairy tale realm for those last few episodes.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too because I was going to say before.
trailer.
But in the
Oh,
trailer,
in the
yeah.
trailer. Oh, sorry, go.
Go on.
No. That's what Connor says. I've said a few smart things on the show, and whenever I say them,
But
Connor
sorry,
goes, "Put it in the trailer."
before, like,
Yeah.
do you think you actually have though? Like, this is the fairy tale and nightmare. What do you think season 7 would be then?
That's what I mean. Series 7 is like you've grown up, you're past it.
So you're growing up. Is there a word for that though? Like
No,
adolescence?
because
or?
it's kind of like it's more of an arc than like not a theme. Fairy tale's not a theme, but
it's like becoming disillusioned with it and being like,
Well, I
well,
also think-
why should I believe? You know?
you're grown up. Matt's grown up from at the start, and then by the end of series 7, I think he's reminded of that kind of wonder.
It's like, you
and
know, in
stuff,
Polar
like horror.
Express where the adults can't hear the bell.
Yeah.
It's like
I love that movie.
That's from memory. I might have a totally different opinion when I watch season 7.
I will say this. I saw this tweet the other day, although I can completely disagree with it. It was like they should have ended Amy and Rory's arc at the end of God Complex. I don't agree with that. But also, I think God Complex at the end of God Complex is like that really is a different change in their arc because that's when the Doctor finally drops them home.
Yeah,
And obviously
and that's
we
when
have
they grow up.
that's when they start to that's when I think the change happens.
Yeah,
Where like obviously we have closing time, he only sees them briefly in the shopping center.
Yeah.
And then the Christmas special ending, whatever. But then like obviously it's Time of the Daleks, they have that break up, and then it's near the end. But yeah.
not
From
forget
like
Pond
closing
Life.
time onwards. So what?
let's not forget Pond Life.
Oh, Pond Life is lit. We need to talk about that when we talk about
There's also you've
Asylum.
got some homework to do for next week as well of some minisodes.
what for the Come To Parter.
Yeah.
I do.
Mhm.
What, the prequels?
No, so there's 4 Blu-ray exclusive. So season 6 and 7
What?
they do
4?
Blu-ray exclusive minisodes. I think there's 3 in season 7, 4 in season 6. And it's
Well,
called
that's-
like like
Come
Dark
Life.
Knight or something.
The Dark Knight.
time,
Christopher Nolan's trilogy.
time, space.
And
No,
Come.
That's the start of season 6. That's
No,
literally-
I know.
Come, space, and
Yeah, so there's 4 minisodes.
is it a prequel? Like,
No, they don't tie into any of the episodes, but it's around that period that they're set.
I've never seen these. Are they on YouTube?
I think they are. I think that's where I
Well-
originally watched them. And they're cool. They have River in. They're cool.
What?
Mm.
You know,
River's in
can
them.
I
Yeah.
say,
One's a bit sad, I think,
I
from
do have
memory.
a point to get back to, but I will also say
You were going to say
I remember
something
any of
before.
these.
when Kat and I were watching season 2, we watched all the web minisodes of that.
Oh, did
which
you?
are
We
like,
watched one.
They're like 30 seconds.
Oh,
like,
did you watch the Impossible
previews.
Astronaut one with like the original captain?
Well, we're
What
not
intro?
up to season
Oh,
6
no,
yet.
no,
but I'm
no.
saying in season 2.
He didn't mean Impossible. He meant Impossible Planet.
Sorry, Impossible Planet.
Oh, yes, yeah.
with
yeah,
the original
yeah.
captain, and then like he dies.
It's not the original Captain.
I think it
Something.
is.
No, we watched it live on air. And I remember it was being like,
Yeah,
oh, it's, not the
it's
original
like,
Captain.
yeah. I know what you mean, though.
It's something
it
weird.
shows a character who dies
Yeah.
before the episode
I only see
starts.
the actual scenes.
Maybe it is the original Captain. I don't remember.
Or it dies like as the... Yeah, it's like...
I just remember watching it and being like, wow, some intern just picked up a fucking webcam in the production office.
I
and
know.
they filmed
It's
it.
such a weird bunch of things. But anyway, what I was also going to say is that, like you were saying about the Matt Smith doctors being a bit older, you know, I recently watched the season 3 finale, and I think
Shat Smith.
if Matt Smith's doctor had the same encounter that David's doctor had with the master, it would have gone a lot differently. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's interesting because as his doctor got older, he was so much more removed, as you say, from Gallifrey, from all that he does feel a lot more cynical about it, you know? But yeah, honestly, if we're going to bring it back to the episode, like I think that moment where he finds the, what are they called again? Do you know what they're called? The boxes?
It's just mail. It's just Time Lord mail.
It's he refers to it as like a black box for a Time Lord. But like when he finds that shit is so good. And I love how the Corsairs has the tattoo.
Yeah.
All the other one, it also, by the way, I know we mentioned it before, the lighting for that scene is so cool. Like it's so cool the way that they just shine
Yeah.
off.
It looks awesome.
But yeah, that's such an emotional scene. You really feel like, wow, he's seeing lost potential.
Yeah.
And you feel that from Matt's performance, and it really is just
I wonder if
stunning.
Neil wanted to write Maybe for David and it just never happened, and then like Matt came
He
on.
wrote it with David's voice in mind.
Okay.
Did you really?
Matt wasn't cast as a doctor
Really?
when he wrote the
Yeah, I had a
episode.
feeling.
Wow.
Not that not in a
He
bad
said-
way.
Do you know if
but-
he changed it much?
He said he like rewrote it, the dialogue.
yeah.
But he said he had no problem with it. Like it was fun to rewrite for Matt.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Because I feel like that would have been
It
different.
kind of
with
does
David.
feel like a David, in the emotional wise, with
In a
like
way, yeah.
David's like attachment to the Time Lords.
Because one thing I do miss, and I think that's why I love season 4 so much.
Well, that's what's nice. It's nice to
was-
see Matt go dark.
I
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss having the ending of the episode be really emotional Because 5 and 6, there's emotional beats, but season 4 in particular, the end of all the episodes, you're just like in tears.
They give David a lot to,
So it was nice for me to be sat there. I watched this morning with a coffee, and like I said, with Vincent and the doctor, it's rare if I'm in the morning with a coffee, I'm watching stuff, and I'm very good like filmy wise watching it. I'm like, that's good, great,
analytical, but not so
But
much emotional.
I don't get as emotionally invested as I do if I'm watching it with a beer at nighttime.
Yeah.
But even this morning, I didn't cry, but I was watching that final scene with Idris, and my tears tingled, and I was like, "Oh," which let's get to. So they
I had the same exact feeling.
They delete them from the TARDIS. And
They delete the original
console
desktop, which made me
Your ears look really funny right
get a
now.
bit upset. But
The Doctor Who experience.
what is Aiden?
Like,
This is audio.
Sorry, you guys can't see.
House did a Doctor Who experience. Deleted the David Tennant tab.
House is it House PD?
House PD. Do you remember there's a? I don't know if you guys saw
House
on
MD.
MD. I believe.
You're
I believe
thinking
in the
of House
patient.
from the show.
I don't believe in anything else but the patient.
on Twitter. You know how they made that Weeping Angel phone game?
I did.
So
believe in the patient.
one of the creators of that, he was like, "Oh, here's some pictures I took when I was in a big warehouse
In the big
when
finished warehouse.
when they pulled out the Weeping Angel statues to use for some of the photos and stuff they used." And so they kind of got to just like go into the warehouse where they kept all the props for Doctor Who, which no one kind of knew was a thing. They were like, okay, obviously they've kept most of the props.
I thought it was
No
just
one
a
knows where they are.
PNG off YouTube, off Google
No, no.
Images.
Some of them are, but it's just like funny. Like, so the guy took some photos of like Weeping Angels, and in the background you can see all these old costumes like lined up on racks, and everyone was like, "That's crazy."
no shit.
And then just shoved in the back corner, you can just see the pulled apart set of the 10th Doctor's TARDIS.
No.
So you know the coral,
remnants.
the coral,
The coral, yeah.
them I just like lined up next to each other like pieces of paper, like just in the back corner.
No
And everyone was like, "Fuck!" At least it's alive though, because it's
it's there.
easy to put it back
So
together.
because they could rebuild it for the 60th
Hey,
coming
that's
soon.
probably why they kept them.
in case.
in
case-
case they need to rebuild them, yeah.
In case. I was thinking the other day though.
What?
You know,
In case Martha gets a spin-off.
sorry,
Sorry, go on.
Martha gets a spin-off.
I'm
can
just
only
saying in
hope.
case. In case.
You can only hope.
You can only hope. Yeah, no. I was just thinking the other day though, like 60th, just end it with like Matt and David, and then we can move on. That's it. Like I feel
That's
like
it for them.
we
what you mean?
we have
Yeah.
to have it though.
I agree. I do think if you do a 60th with
Matt, David, Pete, Jody.
yeah, I was gonna say with Pete as well. With
They
Matt,
can't
David,
bring- obviously,
Pete,
yeah,
and Jody.
obviously Pete.
Then and
Paul McGann.
Lord forgive me,
Paul
Eccleston.
McGann. Yeah, if he could do it, if he wanted
Then
to. Yeah.
you can put it to bed and you can say, we've done like classic Who did. We did the 5 Doctors. Now we can look forward.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and I think that will be.
if they did a really big one, fans would not need another.
Is it next
Do
year?
you
Or
know
is
what I
it
mean?
this? No,
No.
it's
the year
68 this year, isn't it? Or 69?
It's
Sorry,
every
50,
3.
58.
So 2023 is the
Wow.
60th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what will be?
So 2 years from now.
What will be cool is I think, the closest thing to like a big Avengers moment with Who is we had, the end of season 4. And that was crazy. And then
Yeah, that was cool.
Day was like good, but it didn't, it was just 10 coming back. And Billy had a small role in it.
And John.
Tom
as well.
Baker.
Sorry, Tom.
Tom.
John.
Oh, yeah.
John
that was
Baker.
great. But that was just like a cameo, But as for like an actual
And that was
story
sport. Remember he was like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm in it. Remember he just like dead set was just like, I'm in it.
I didn't think anyone knew Tom was in it.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone knew until it happened.
he
I think
did.
you're
He put
wrong.
out. He was like,
No,
yeah, he
I
did.
think you're wrong.
I swear.
I think you're wrong.
I swear.
Okay, maybe.
I swear.
All I'm saying is I
swear.
didn't know, and I was sat in when I watched it at the cinema. The fucking crowd when Tom walked in,
Yeah.
everyone was like,
When are we going to get an old classic Doctor again?
man, bring in Sylvester. Actually, just bring them all in. I don't care. I don't mind.
McGann.
I want
don't care how
McGann.
old they
Yeah,
are.
fuck yeah. But
McGann and Martha, give me a spin-off.
but we've not had like
The
a
two M's.
Avengers
M
moment.
and M.
Fucking shut up. We've not had an Avengers moment where they've sort of brought together all the Doctors, and it's
Yeah.
felt like a
Yeah.
fuck yeah, like this is some cool shit.
Well, didn't they do the 3 Doctors then the 5 Doctors in the classics?
Yeah, so 3 Doctors was the 10-year anniversary, 5 Doctors was the 20.
So they can do
I'm
the 5
saying-
Doctors.
So hear me
again.
out. Hear me out. 50th, 3 Doctors. David, John Hurt, and Matt.
They're just doing it again.
60th.
Yeah, but Ek
Five
won't come
doctors,
back.
innit?
Ek won't come back.
Don't
So-
you fucking dare.
So what?
Joe
David,
Dead.
Matt. I don't know, because thing is, though,
Joe
we
Ryan.
could get
Joe
Joe.
Ryan.
We could get Joe.
Actually,
Get
not
Joe
wrong.
Ryan.
Not
So we
wrong,
could
that
get
was-
Joe, and we could get Paul McGann.
And Paul McGann, thank you.
Oh, dude. Give
Eccles-
Paul McGann a series. He doesn't-
Eccleston won't come back.
Well,
When hell freezes over,
you know
he
what? We
will.
could do a day of the Doctor and have one half shot of Eccleston.
They did it last time. They
You know, Day of the Doctor, they show the
Yeah,
very beginning of his regeneration. We could do that easy. I mean, there's no reason that, you know.
yeah.
All right, well, where are we? Tell me where we are in the
I
episode.
can't do it when Aiden's not here.
Oh, okay. Well,
Should we talk about some
what do you
shit?
want to talk about? Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. What are we talking about?
well, look, you know, Idris,
Elba.
she's great. You know, she's a really, let me put it this
Right.
way. The way she describes herself, very accurate.
Mm.
She is sexy.
Fair enough. Idris Elba, man. Like, do you ever feel like that guy's like
Oh, that Idris.
he has like 2 movies coming out this summer? Do you know how big that is for an actor?
Is he in,
I know, right?
Is he in one of the Fast and Furious movies? I don't know why I think he is.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that the other day. He is, isn't he?
Is he? I don't know.
I feel like he is. I
Oh,
literally
wasn't
had
he-
that
wasn't he
exact
the,
thought.
Wasn't he the villain in one of them?
Yeah, isn't he in?
Was he the villain in Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh, he's in
Or
Hobbs
was
and
he-
Shaw.
Was he the villain from that?
He's like, I'm Superman.
Yeah. I'm Black Superman.
Yeah, I'm like Black Superman.
That was a. Yeah, I didn't see that.
He was
movie.
Hobbs and
Did
Shaw.
You didn't watch Hobbs and Shaw?
I didn't know.
Wow.
I think
Do you
it's on
he's gonna be the
Netflix.
next Doctor?
I'd loved him to be. Honestly, I would
think
love
he'd
him
be
to be.
great. I mean, he's a good
But
actor.
he's too mainstream now.
It's too expensive.
They can't. They can't. I don't-
BBC can't afford that.
Let's
kind of.
stick to the episode for a mo.
it's
Emotion.
pretty much over. It's
I totally forgot that Matt fully breaks down and cries at the end of this episode.
yeah.
I know with Idris. Yeah, oh man.
It's like, don't
Dude.
go.
Right, man, like the trembling lip, I was like, bro.
Bro, the
Don't
way
go.
that she is like floating and she's like fading away.
Yeah,
Man, his emotion too. You're right. It is.
I found that
on
word.
point.
that's right.
Alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
and by
I
the
just
way,
wanted
there's
to
a bit of
say
a
hello.
there's a bit of a Good Man Goes to War teaser as well.
Yes,
if you recall.
the only
Yeah, they-
forest,
yeah,
the
the-
only water in
yeah.
the forest is the
Is
river.
the river.
Yeah, the river.
That's right. Yeah.
Which, by the way, you know when at one point when she's
And
in
at
the
the be-
cage,
Yeah,
she
sorry.
goes, "I would do up, and it just doesn't make sense. Like she just says some weird thing.
Yes.
So apparently that is meant to be the only water in the forest is the river in reverse.
Really?
That's weird.
Ah,
so weird. but
okay.
yeah, that's what that was meant to be.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. The
I
fish
also-
have fingers.
I also like that. Yeah, that's good. I also like that at the beginning they
Like fish
mentioned
fingers.
how the Doctor died too.
The what?
You know, at the beginning of the episode, Aurora's like, "You're still thinking about it, aren't you?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
they're
she's
trying
like,
to-
Oh yeah.
"He died."
He died.
it's just Moffat. trying to
Literally, I was.
warn the
Yeah,
public.
exactly,
I literally
yeah.
I was like,
Let's-
I forget about that. Don't worry about that shit. Literally, I was like, forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
That means
Yeah.
nothing.
That's-
It meant
that's literally-
nothing.
That line and the whole river forest thing,
Forget
that's
it.
Moffat just trying to be like, yeah, you got to remind him they're in series 6, you know?
At least it doesn't end with that. Oh, does it start with a stupid positive negative? That shit shows so much
That's the next one.
with the come to parter. It's like
No,
every-
that is dumb.
the amount of times you see it and in a black spot as well. It's like the
Yeah.
Can I say though as well?
how long does it
and
take
this-
to find out?
Can I say too? And this really shows like Neil's understanding of the show. The resolution of the episode about how Idris gets into the main console and it's like you brought a TARDIS to her home, you know, whatever, you know, that whole thing. That is brilliant. Like
Yeah.
the way that works, the way that plays
So
out.
beautiful the way it's shot, scored, Matt's
Oh,
performance, running
man.
around, the TARDIS, the CGI, like we were saying.
Matt's entire performance
great.
going from stoic, like, you know, I've killed all the Time Lords
Oh, such a great line.
to
Oh,
just-
can we talk about that quickly? Because like,
Yeah.
when does he actually admit though that he has killed them all though?
So he's like, fear me, I've killed
he-
plenty of Time Lords. And
is
he's
he
like,
hinting
"Fear me,
towards the fact
I
because
killed all of them."
he's never said that he did it though. Do you know what I mean though?
He
I
I think-
that's him saying that I'm responsible for the last of the Time Lords dying. You know, that's
No,
what he's.
But you remember End of Time? He sends them all off back to.
Also,
wherever the fuck-
is that what's referring to? You think?
For me, I think that must be what he. Thinks.
I always thought he was referring to John Hurt's act.
Well,
but
I think
we don't know
think
that.
Moffat knew what he was.
I know what I'm saying though, because like it's not.
no, because they do imply throughout Eccleston's era that
Yeah, but I'm also.
what
I know
Matt
that,
did
but
had
I'm.
happened. Do you
I'm
know what
also
I mean?
like, but I'm also like,
okay.
do they really think they
You know what I'm
really
saying?
knew
So-
that? Like,
They might have implied no, because they do imply that he was. David implies at many times that he was responsible for the Time Lords.
well, I guess there is also
I'll
a
have to do
reason.
a rewatch.
There's
Die.
also a
I'm pretty
reason
sure-
why
I'm
he
pretty
is the
sure
only
he
one who's
does.
still alive.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure he does. I'm pretty
We've
sure
been doing
he's
this
like,
rewatch for 13 months, and
Let
I
me put it
already
this
can't
way.
remember half
Do you
the
remember?
shit
Do you remember
that
in
was
Gridlock?
done.
Yeah, I
I
get
think
that.
I think in Gridlock he's like maybe, but I think in Gridlock he says something like, "And I was responsible" or something. Like he does at some point say.
well, I guess
so-
also he is like the last person alive in the Time Lord, so there must be a reason why that is. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think what Matt is trying to say in that.
Put these really high for some reason.
I think what Matt is trying to say in that scene is to say like, you know, I'm responsible for all the Time Lords being, you know, where they are, or whatever. You guys should start a new orchestra.
The CAD National
Yeah,
Orchestra.
that's
of-
right. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I was going to say that before, but I forgot.
Perth.
Either way.
Always
Yeah.
had to bleep something because Connor was going to get mad.
Oh, that was it. Before we
I heard you, bro.
before we move on to the final scene, we've pretty much offered a recap there, but oh,
Sorry,
Go on, say. We're almost 2 hours. We've got heaps of stuff to get through.
that's all right. We've got time.
Let's get through it.
I was just gonna say though, like this episode to me feels like, and I've noticed this when I actually read up about Night Terrors. This was apparently supposed to be in the part 1 spot. I think it was meant to be in this spot.
Just wait for fucking behind the scenes.
But you know, like I was gonna say, like, this episode is like quite like it. Apart from the other episodes, it like seems quite intact. Like this one seems kind of its own thing. It kind of feels like those scenes where they're talking about the
Yeah,
whole.
it's a very contained episode.
It felt like those scenes were kind of added on, like you
Right
know,
at the end,
he's
that's
gonna
right.
die
You can say
type
about
thing.
Curse of the Black Spot.
And-
Like
but-
all the bits that tie in, they're just like added in.
But also, you don't get the Madame Kavarian
yeah, but
you don't need
thing.
Like, you know.
But that's also,
You
though,
know-
but to be fair, it's the one episode in the season that doesn't get it.
Yeah,
To
but
be
you also
fair,
have a scene at the start where like you're talking about, you're thinking about the Doctor dying. Like,
I know, but still,
you know, look. To be fair, this episode is good.
I didn't say it wasn't. You fuckwit.
No, I'm just saying compared to Curse of the Black Spot. But no, I actually really like that this episode is so self-contained because it's so rewatchable. Honestly, like this episode is really you can just jump in, give it a watch, and it's fucking great. Like it. Yeah, honestly, the relationship with the Doctor and the TARDIS, I feel like has not been made so clear than this episode. You know what I mean,
I
that's what
agree.
I like about this episode. is
before
it
then, it's
really,
just like, oh, you sexy. That's all.
yeah,
it is.
it's very like it's like a guy with a boat, you know.
Yeah. Me with my new Jeep.
yeah. Aiden with his Jeep,
Love my Jeep.
but it really makes that relationship clear, and I think it does in a way that nothing about it feels off. Like it feels entirely accurate, and that is a
correct.
credit to the two performers because you know Matt and what did you say her name was?
Saran Jones, I believe is her name.
She does so fantastically, and her and Matt together like
Really great. Especially
they
that
just
MC.
get across that relationship so well.
Oof.
And like you said, that scene in that last scene where he is saying goodbye to her is fantastic. And I love that. And this is why it's so great about her being confused about the time, the past tense, present tense sort of thing, because, you know, inevitably the saddest word to her is hello,
Yeah.
you know, and it's so interesting because it also makes you think about people you've known and relationships you've had. And yeah, it really is a fantastic way to have that character's arc just be wrapped up. I mean,
Great dynamic the whole way through the episode. Like I don't think we've said it enough how hilarious but fun.
Oh, it
grounded
is.
and
It's
serious
hilarious.
their conversations are throughout the entire episode.
and can I just say quickly as well, it's so cool that they build a TARDIS. That's
That's
fucking
awesome. That's awesome.
And how it doesn't have a shell as well.
It looks great, and they're just like, and he just
It's
puts the
so
velvet
funny.
chains around the.
I thought that was the.
He just
Can't
puts
blame me.
the velvet chains around the TARDIS. Looks great.
Yeah, I think that's sick. I love that.
Last scene, he's building them a room. Going to have the bunk beds again. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah,
I did like
And
that.
they're like,
that.
Doctor, do you have a bedroom?
Wait, so but that is, by the
Yeah,
way,
he doesn't even
that's,
answer it.
can I just say that is definitively post nut Amy and Rory.
So they've definitely fucked on the bed.
well
Oh, no.
confirmed. River Song was conceived
In a bunk bed.
in a bunk bed.
There you
Of
go.
course.
The more you know. Put that on fucking
That's
TARDIS
the
Wiki.
trick.
Where's the TARDIS wiki
Where's
facts?
this? What's this trivia section? That is trivia.
That's
but
it.
it's-
Fucking hell. Yeah, that's great. And then they're like, there's a dog travel room and just pull him away. That's
Because
great.
we never know, do we? We
doctor
don't know if he
sleeps in a
sleeps
hammock.
or has a room or anything.
Great end. Great end to an episode. And then he just pulls the lever and then.
It's like, can you hear me? And it pulls the lever.
Dude, I remember you mentioned this after an episode. I think not like way before we made this show, and I think we're talking about season 8 episode. I feel like it was Robots of Sherwood because that one sticks out to a sore thumb. Sticks out like a sore thumb with this. Is like the one fault I'll give this episode is that it ends beautifully, but like before, just a second too soon. Next time, like it comes in like too
I know,
quick, like,
yeah.
Fade to
Yeah.
black. Give us
It
like a
doesn't
second
give
to be
you
like,
enough to just let it settle.
Yeah, but it just in your face next time, and
Yeah.
then you get
Do you know what I found interesting at the end of the Flesh Tube pile, there's no next time trailer.
the come to powder.
Yeah, that's the first time
Really?
in a
Not
long
even after
time.
the credits?
Nope. That's the first time in a long time I've noticed not being a next time trailer.
Are you saying after part 1 or after part 2?
No, part 2. After the
really?
whole
I guess
cliffhanger with
so.
Amy being jizz.
The cliffhanger's so big. I remember loving that cliffhanger.
Yeah, so there was literally nothing.
I'm very excited to watch that.
Oh, me too. Like, where the baby, get ready, Daniel.
No. I'm excited to watch the cliffhanger that leads into that
Oh, yeah.
because I
That
as,
is a great scene.
as a kid, I
That is
always
a
remembered
fucking
like
awesome
Come Amy
scene.
happening, and it's all like these
Come, Amy.
There's all like these like revelations happening
Of the Daleks.
Happened
around
so
you.
quick.
Revelation of the Daleks. That's the next
yeah,
one.
there we go.
Was
Another
that a
option.
cum reference? It happened so quick.
Hey, that's a bit of a self.
Who knew? Who knew?
But
Nah, I remember the conclusion of the come to parter.
yeah.
Yeah, where he flicks up.
Yeah,
the-
it's so
the
quick.
screen
It's
Oh,
just-
does
shot.
it? It
yeah,
comes
yeah.
really quick.
It is quick,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Damn.
But you have to see for yourself.
I will. I'll come for myself.
But look, I think where are we up to in this episode? How
We just
are
finished
nearly-
it. That was
we're
it.
finished. We're done. Okay, yeah. No, I think I
think we
think
covered
this one
everything, to be
slots in
fair.
really well.
yeah.
It slops.
Slots in. I meant to say.
Fucking hell.
I think this episode slots in very well. I honestly think. What do you guys think? Because I don't know if we're. Wait, sorry. You guys tell me. What segment are we in? Are we in
We
wrap
got to
up?
go for
Are
the
we
week
in-
next.
Okay, you do that because I was gonna start giving my final opinion.
No, that's at the end. That's at the
All
end.
right, all right.
Guys, it's time for Australia's favourite segment. It's time for Goof of the Week. Oh shit! Hold on. Sorry. Hold the phone. It's time for Goof of the Week. That's gonna sound horrendous.
Nice.
My ears.
So, God, it's good. Like we said, we're doing it in Dan's studio today, so we actually are doing the sounds live on air.
Daniel's studio.
That's right. Yes. yes.
I didn't have any goofs this week, boys. Did you have any?
I don't. I'm just getting up my Instagram reviews.
I'm trying to think. Like,
Okay,
well, the ood. No, I don't know.
not much on TARDIS Wiki either. Except once again, whoever the fuck is writing this shit is honestly looking at the wrong stuff.
Oh no.
A bit of context for you, Dan.
On
Since
some
you
other
haven't seen our
shit.
show, in Curse of the Black Spot.
Yes.
One of the goofs was that in some scenes, Amy's nail polish was chipped.
Wow. Wow.
In this episode, in one scene, in some shots, Amy's nail polish is red, and some shots it's purple.
Oh,
So
okay.
I either reckon that's the lighting and the grade they've done has changed a little bit, or
Yeah.
more likely, I reckon it's they've done like either a reshoot and done some pickups,
and
or
the white
hand
balance is
double,
off or something.
or the
yeah.
hand
Or
double.
yeah,
maybe.
that's right.
I've never noticed anything like that
So dumb.
in a billion
Um,
years.
That stuff I think.
speaking of
Yeah.
hands,
Yeah.
I'm such a good podcast host. Look at that segue.
Go.
Hands.
Speaking of hands.
That's almost as bad as Neil Gaiman.
Oh my lord.
So when Rory's on the old prosthetics, his hands are the hands of a young person. They don't put any prosthetics on his hands.
Yes.
So they notice
yeah.
really
I you know.
What about
you
his
know,
nose?
This is something that I don't know if I really noticed it that much in this episode, but I noticed that in every other show. Whenever they do old people, if the hands are not wrinkly, I'm always like.
That's a young man.
Which, by the way, can I say, point 1 to Doctor Who
In season 3.
in season 3
Yeah.
when they make David Tennant
Yeah.
old.
Made his hands old.
are
What about
old.
when he turns into that midget? Oh god, it's the worst. That CGI.
Yeah, whatever that CGI
God.
Gollum thing.
And I hate how
Yeah,
the suit.
Dobby.
The suit also
Gollum
goes
who?
So
small.
bad.
Awful.
Last little good
Yeah,
for the
the,
week.
the suit shrinks. I didn't think of that.
Last go for the week. Last go for the week is a bit of a weird one. So, even though the set was left standing,
Okay.
10's TARDIS.
Yeah.
Daniel, please stop clicking your knuckles.
When
Gross.
they come in, there's
Ah.
when they come in, there's a shot that starts like it's a bit tight. You see a bit of the console, and apparently like the console is the wrong way around, and so people don't know if like they fucked up the camera angle so it looks off, or
Is it like a mirror shot or something?
or maybe like mirrored or something,
Yeah.
or they said like, or they put it back together wrong. But I'm like, they kept it standing, so it can't be that unless maybe they cleaned it or something and they put the console.
Yeah,
in the
maybe
wrong part.
because
I don't
didn't
know.
Moffat acknowledge that he likes to do the mirrored shots, but he said because Matt Smith has his hair the way it is,
Right.
I don't think he
it's
said
like
he liked
harder
to.
to. Well,
I
okay,
think
maybe he didn't say, but he said Matt's hair makes it harder if you ever need to. So,
So Chibnall had said, any advice? Moffat, and all Moffat said was, make sure whoever you cast
Actor's
as the
hair
doctor
is
do it
symmetrical.
symmetrical, because when you inevitably need
so
to flip
funny.
some shots, it comes in handy.
man, Eccleston must have been the dream. Like he
Yeah.
is such a
And Pete.
symmetrical looking man. Oh, and Pete, yeah,
Just
yeah.
hair up. And then ironically, Chibnall went and cast Jodie, who doesn't have symmetrical.
Yeah, hers is a
makeup.
bit. Yeah, it's a bit.
Is it all just like for
One-sided,
eh?
continuity
yeah.
and stuff, and just
No,
like
it's because sometimes
No,
they
it's because
fuck up the
sometimes if you
filmmaking and they fuck up the
shoot
shot.
a shot and like sometimes you get this like you said the 180 degree angle wrong.
Right.
and
so
You,
dumb,
you
though.
you shoot things in the wrong way and you have to flip the shot to look
I know
more
they're
natural.
making the show like as fast as they can and stuff, but like
Yeah, you think a
it's
production like
so
that.
basic. Like I
Would get
don't
it.
know why it's had to happen so many times.
Yeah, it's funny,
and,
isn't it?
and all you have to do is do your job fucking properly. But hey,
they actually get paid for this shit. By the way,
Amy's hair would work with
there you go.
mirror shots.
Amy's
So
hair.
maybe
most of the
Amy,
time.
maybe every shot of Amy is mirrored.
Maybe Rory
We
as
don't
well.
know.
So moving to Australia's second
Amy's
favorite
cum.
segment. Amy's cum. Australia's second favorite segment. It's time for behind the scenes.
I wish you'd played that.
shooting blanks.
There we go. Smooth.
Even better.
Like Amy's cum.
Um,
Behind the scenes facts for this week. Original titles of the episode when Neil Gaiman pitched the episode to Moffat. It was called Bigger on the Inside. Sorry, no, it was called
oh, that would be a great.
Arguments
called-
like this.
it was called The House of Nothing, which I prefer. That's my favorite of the three.
The House of Nothing.
That's pretty cool.
But then when
Yeah, okay.
when he rewrote the episode, they changed it to Bigger on the Inside. But weeks, I think like 4 weeks before the episode was broadcast,
Yeah.
they were worried that it was going to give away the fact that it was the TARDIS because that no one knew that Idris was the TARDIS.
Yeah, because I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
Okay.
I think they do such. I don't know what you guys think, but I think they did such a great job of not revealing it until, like, when it clicks for the Doctor, it clicks for you. I feel like,
It's
or
one of those
maybe
things
it clicks
that-
a little bit before, but
Like with the Pandorica twist being
Yeah.
that the Pandorica was for the Doctor. It's one of
Yeah.
those things that I'm
Yeah.
so used to now that I don't feel that surprise when it happens. And you've really got to sit
Yeah,
back and be
but
like,
I-
oh shit, that
I
was a
do
cool twist.
feel like though you can tell. Excuse me, you can tell that they made an effort for it to be that first time viewers did have that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally, 100%. Which is cool. Like I said back when we did the Lodger, this episode was meant to be Series 5, Episode 11. The Lodger was.
Yeah, wow.
But
Okay.
because of budget things, they pushed it back.
Well, thank God Rory got to be on the title sequence.
So even though, excuse me, even though it was hinted at, it's been hinted at quite a few times during the show. This is the first time it's been confirmed on the show that Time Lords can change gender. Regeneration.
Yes, that's right. I was
Of
gonna
course, yeah,
mention
because
that.
Of course, there.
he, yeah.
It's like, oh, she was a bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally,
like
back
that. That's
early
good.
on in early treatments, early drafts, wasn't going to be David's console room. Gaiman wanted it to be a classic era console room, but the
No
BBC was
shit.
like,
Really?
we can't afford
We
to build
cannot
that.
rebuild
We'll
that.
just save this one. And
Wow, I
that
didn't
was the
know
deal
that.
they came up with. Yeah, I didn't know.
So
that
wait,
either.
so then when did he pitch the episode?
I assume it would have been back in like series 4.
So when they
specials
still
production.
had his.
Yeah. So remember,
Wow.
remember it was meant to be in season 5.
Yeah, of
Because he
course,
said
of
keep
course.
the console.
That is so
yeah.
interesting. That is really cool. Wow.
Very cool.
And it adds so much to the episode as well. I
It
think.
really does. It really does.
So here's some scenes that were cut from the original script that I think would be really cool.
Okay.
There was more scenes with the real Idris before. Don't care for that. She's not really a character.
The what, sorry?
The real Idris before she was like 1.
Oh, yeah.
Don't really need that. That's fine.
Well,
more-
she's, we already see the characters of Auntie and Uncle,
Yeah.
which are pretty much the same. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
More history of the Doctor and the Corsair, which I think would have been dope.
Oh, that would have been
That sounds like
sick.
a fucking Big Finish novel that
Bro,
I would.
that
Big
would've-
Finish novel, Big Finish audio that I would love to hear.
That would be lit.
More TARDIS rooms were meant to be seen. Would
Right.
have been dope.
They're like, but we'll save that for Journey to the Center of the TARDIS.
And the end, I think it would have been really sad and a real nice scene, but I think the way it's done now is probably better because it's kind of a bit shorter and a bit sweeter. But they were going to do a burial for Idris,
Oh, okay.
the body.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess and they've confirmed this before. So I guess every Time Lord is like bisexual, because
I guess.
because how in what's it it's not well enough in time. Pete's our well was so far ahead of your concept
Yeah.
of gender.
I do think, I think it definitely implies that
Well, at least the Doctor is
that
bisexual.
in terms of the Time Lords, them as a species were, because Time Lords not Gallifreyans, I guess, were like post-gender. Do you know
So
what I mean?
did it
That's
matter?
what I was about to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Is that I feel like our society, and I was listening to something where they were really talking about what a lot of young people are going for these days,
Yeah.
a lot younger than us, like kids, are kind of like, we just don't need gender. Like gender,
Yeah.
other than the actual genetic side of it,
Well,
that shit
it's-
can just go out the window. And
it's-
I think there's an argument to be made there. Like
I-
I don't care for it. I don't care against it. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I
Whatever
think
is-
it's a case. So it's not so much that do we need it or not. It's just that the idea of gender is artificial. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
it's made up. Do you know what I mean? Like who says, a girl wears pink and a boy? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's people are realizing that all that stuff is totally made up and
Yeah.
pointless. And so it's it does make sense that a futuristic society probably would
Yeah.
just lose.
Well, I know
those
also it means a lot to
affiliations,
people that I don't know, it means a lot to people who have also struggled with that in the past, that a character they really care about
Yeah,
can.
absolutely.
And I think Pete's Doctor put it best when they were like, I can't necessarily remember the line, but it was like, we're so far ahead of your, because obviously Bill's
yeah,
gay.
exactly.
And he, as she says to him, is like, do you mind? And he's like, because he's talking about Missy, and he's
Yeah.
like, I think she was a man back in the day when I fancied him.
Yeah.
And she's like, so you're like that? And he's like, we were so far ahead of your.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very important. I think, and it's good to
But-
see even in Neil's script he put that in there.
It's great, and I know obviously because of the time, it's you can't really hold them grudges for this, but classic era Doctor Who is just white 40 to 50-year-old men walking around California.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you never
Yeah.
very rare see a
Well,
female other
that-
than Romana and stuff.
That
like
would have
Susan.
reflected, at the time in the 50s and 60s, you couldn't find anyone in any position of power who wasn't
Yeah.
a white middle-aged man.
People
Yeah.
writing it.
know,
Well, there
so-
aren't any on Earth.
Yeah.
So why would there be any?
Why would there be any in
Exactly.
space?
Makes no sense.
Yeah, that was
Despite the
sort
fact
of-
it's completely and utterly a different place.
That was the vibe at the time. But
Yeah.
but no, I think let me put it this way. The portrayal of how gender roles would evolve in the future aged a lot better than how Russell thought that the definition of television would age.
Yes.
So
Accurate. Here's what I was saying before that I feel like maybe you probably knew Connor, but maybe you just forgotten over time. Is the Junk TARDIS console was actually a Blue Peter competition where people got to design what the Junk TARDIS was going to look like.
I didn't know.
I
that.
knew about
Designed by
that.
a
I did hear
12-year-old
about
girl.
that. Yeah, I did hear about that.
Interesting. Okay.
12-year-old girl drew it.
Because wasn't there also something about, I don't know if it was Time and Space, but one of those they allowed a school to write.
No,
a
so that
minisode?
was it's called Good as Gold.
Yes, a school got to
Weeping
write
Angel.
their own minisode.
For some reason in my head, I want to say it's the only minisode that's not on a Blu-ray. But
Really?
But it might be. It might be on the season 7.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Isn't that
I
one
have
with
that in my
the?
head, but I also feel like
Because I remember watching
think
that
is
and
on
it
the
was
Series
like
7
this
one.
primary school, whatever the fuck.
Isn't the one
Yeah.
with Albert Einstein?
Maybe it is. I think
There's one with Einstein.
there is. There's so
I think
many
you might be
Minnesota-
right.
The one
I
with
think you
Roy
might be
and
right,
the glass floor.
Yeah,
That is
that's
great.
Space
That's,
Time.
so
Space
horny
Time,
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
could
yeah.
not. The whole reason that happens.
It's like
You
a
think that's horny?
banana.
Just wait till we get to.
Well, it's
some
nothing
more
like a banana.
Facts.
Oh.
So the sequence, the episode was originally meant to start with what's called the Planet of the Rain God sequence.
Rain
So
God.
it was meant to start with like a sort of action sequence on a planet, and then the cube, the white cube thing, was going to come and save them, and then that's how they got the cube, and they went off and did the thing.
Oh shit.
So that's kind of a cool thing, but up until day one of production,
That would have been
that's when they were
very
like,
Toclafane.
maybe. Day one of production, they were like, oh, the schedule doesn't allow for this, so they had to
Yeah.
quickly rewrite it.
Okay.
So that's why they just started it with a story. But the Rain God sequence, I think, was then made into a comic strip or something. But ultimately, Gaiman came right back to write a minisode that was exclusive to the season 7 Blu-ray
No shit.
called Planet of the Rain Gods or something, or just Rain Gods or something.
Have you seen that?
Which basically.
I do remember seeing
So-
it. Yeah,
so-
I remember
so
it.
that
Have you
was-
watched it recently?
No, I'll watch it when I get to season 7. But it is it's changed.
Oh,
so it's-
7?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's the Doctor and River, actually.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that.
Mm.
I have seen that.
Right. So that was changed. That's really cool. So he had that idea earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
So wait,
Uh,
what was it supposed to be originally? The Doctor and Amy and Rory.
Yeah, like it was just
Okay,
how this
yeah,
episode.
Yeah, I have
started.
seen that with River and
Yeah.
Doctor. Yeah.
This was the first episode of Series 6 to be shot.
Oh, was it really?
Another original opening for the
Wow.
episode was that the Doctor was going to see
So
the
wait,
Beatles.
is that also what? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt that fact. But
Well,
is
you
that is sorry? Is that because
Peace and
is
love,
that because they
Ringo
had to film
Starr.
the premiere in America?
just scheduling? It's always a different order.
Yeah,
Um,
because this one definitely seems like it was filmed in like a studio. Like I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like we said, the sets are great, but
Yeah.
I don't see why they would have to leave the UK for this one.
No,
Whereas
100%,
obviously the first two,
yeah.
there was clearly a lot of location USA.
But it's like
shooting.
actor availability, director availability, and location availability tends to be the main.
That's
three
really
things that
cool.
impact
That's
things.
really cool. This was the first one.
Yeah. So there you go.
So Amy and Rory were reading the lines about he died, and they didn't even know.
They were
They
like,
hadn't
what
even
the
shot it.
fuck?
Shit, true.
I'm sure they knew what was happening. So yeah, another original opening was for the episode. I don't know. How
Matt
this
was
fits.
watching them film the scene. Like, wait, am
I'm not gonna die.
are we
Am I
going to
gonna
film
regenerate
me
the end of the
die?
season?
Another original opening for the episode was, the Doctor going to see the Beatles, which I don't know how that fits into this episode at all.
Really?
But I've always thought Matt would be a great Doctor to have a Beatles episode.
That would be fun.
But I'm hoping one day they do.
Peace
If
and
there's
love,
fucking-
Ringo
that
Starr.
would be a great episode to do. That would be really
if
fun.
The fucking considering like the new base of
Any
the show,
doctor could do that. Jodie could do it. Matt
the,
could do
the
it.
new base of the show, like the new home. Obviously, it was Sheffield for like 2 seasons, and I'm sure they'll go back because Yaz is still there. But Liverpool, they've shot a bunch of stuff in Liverpool because
Yeah.
Dan's character is in Liverpool.
Dan.
Thank you,
So,
Dan.
If they don't,
Thank you, Dan.
If they don't bring Dan in from and do like a Liverpool with like some scenes with in like the
Bro, that would be sick.
Was it the Caravan Club or something? Not the Caravan Club, but that you know what I mean? That,
Yeah, Abbey
the
Road,
Cavern
yeah.
Club or
Kanja
whatever it's
Club.
called. The club they used to perform at.
Kanja Club.
Kanja Club. Tell that to Kanja Club.
The club on Abbey Road, he means.
That's not. No.
Isn't that on Abbey Road? Aiden's
So-
favourite album.
A scene that was quickly cut before filming.
It's on the corner of Abbey Road and Penny
A
Lane.
scene that was quickly cut before filming was Karen was Amy in a swimming pool in the TARDIS, but Karen couldn't
Oh.
swim, so they had to cut it.
Wait, what? Karen can't swim?
Not at the time. I think she can now, but at
Wow.
the time she couldn't.
Isn't it crazy that people grow up and they can't swim?
I tell you what, it's that Marvel money. That's
Yeah,
what,
that
Marvel
Marvel
money,
money.
yeah.
that's how she can afford swimming lessons.
Thank you, James Gunn.
The BBC wasn't,
That couldn't- that couldn't
weren't
pay
paying
for
her
it.
enough. Nah.
So here's some classic horny Moffat quotes.
Oh,
Okay.
Not quotes. Things.
Delete the search. Sorry.
Two lines that he added to the episode are the horniest lines from the whole episode.
No.
Biting's
He's like-
excellent. It's like kissing, but there's a winner.
Add this.
That,
Neil.
okay, that is a
And,
good line though. But it is
a good line.
horny. It
But
is
also
horny.
did you wish really hard?
Yeah, that is good though. That is funny.
I wish the TARDIS was a woman. And
You
I
know
could fuck
what?
her.
That is a good line, but those are both very horny.
They are very
Right,
horny.
Those are really
Moffat
horny.
is just a horny
Moffat is a
bloke.
horn man.
I reckon his wife is very
Series
satisfied.
6, he's
That's what
like,
I'll say.
Fucking give me it.
What's it? Isn't his wife? Didn't she work on Sherlock or something?
Yeah,
Is that-
Sue Virtue, I think.
Sue
Yeah.
Virtue. That's right. Yeah, she
Wait,
is.
that's That's his wife?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, they're always on Instagram together. Like she's all behind him. He's like me and Sue out for a glass of wine.
Yeah,
No shit.
I'm pretty sure they
Dracula
were
with him
co-workers and
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Where's Dracula season 2 at?
Wow.
No one wants it. First 2 episodes were great. And
I
then-
do.
And then 3 was enough.
I like
he
it.
actually, he actually got her to try on Irene Adler's outfit first before.
And this was originally meant to be episode 3. I don't know how that ties into things because originally Night Terrors was meant to be episode 3. I don't know. It's
I said that.
it's all a bit
Oh,
all over
really?
the place.
Wait. Are you saying that's how they filmed it, or that's how it's going to air?
That was how it was meant to air, but like they really fucked around with the order of the episodes.
So there was because
though, can
I read about this because Night Terrors has literally, apart from the fact they had to reshoot some scenes to make sure it adds context, because
So-
like they didn't mention once in Night Terrors all the stuff about River being their actual daughter.
Yeah.
So that's how you know
Okay,
it was
so-
moved around so much.
So this is interesting because I remember when the season 6 trailer first came out, and there were scenes from 6B.
Yeah.
There's the Night Terrors and God Complex.
yeah.
It's like a month before, like when the trailer came out, they still didn't know what episodes.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So at what
No, they
point in
would've.
the production do they move it around though?
No,
Like-
it definitely wouldn't have been that late in the game, but
Okay.
Clearly something went wrong.
I think there was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they would have had to do pickups and reshoots.
It reminds
I
me
mean,
of
I
like
get that,
in the Hobbit, episode. Sorry, the first Hobbit movie. It had the trailer came out and it had scenes from the second movie in it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that.
Well, it's interesting because it's like in Scrubs season 7. Season 7 was supposed to be a full like 22 episode season, but it was only 11 because of the writer's strike.
yeah,
But they were gonna do the princess. You know, they did like the fairy tale episode.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
They were gonna do
Princess
that
Bride
as
one.
like
Is
episode.
that the final?
So it's episode 11, but it was originally going to be like episode 7 or 8. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just in the middle of a 24 episode season. Do you know what I mean?
hate
Like just
that
a random
episode so
special one.
much.
But then the season got cut short because of the writer's strike. And because they were like, well, it's episode 7, we're only going to do 11 episodes. Let's just swap it. And they literally just swapped it. Like after they filmed it.
So some fun facts
Go ahead.
about that. If any Scrubs fans are out there,
Oh, yes. Aid may know more.
Zach
I'm
Brack
just saying
is
from what I know.
very salty about that because
Oh, is he really?
he
I
thinks
didn't
no
know.
one likes that episode, and he's like,
We don't.
Why was it the finale?
and he thinks he was like, I think it's a really good episode, but because everyone thought it was like the last ever episode of Scrubs, everyone was like, well, that was shit.
Right.
So he thinks he cops a bit more
Right.
slack
It was
than
such
Why
a-
do you think it was the last one? Didn't they confirm season 8 or
Oh,
something?
no, it got
No,
cancelled.
no, because season 8 wasn't renewed until after that
It
episode.
was a
aired.
different network.
Yeah.
picked it
I
up.
love that. I
ABC
think that's the
picked
last
it up.
episode.
It was cancelled. Yeah, the series was cancelled, and then that was the last.
Sure,
episode.
then
That
after
also happens a few times in Scrubs where they swap episodes around.
It does, but that
it's
was to me that was the most noticeable. There is in season 6 as well. They swap an episode where he cuts his hair and stuff. That happens as well.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does because Dr.
But
Cox's
anyway,
hair's gone in
yeah,
one scene.
The point of saying that
sorry,
is
in one
it
episode,
is,
and it comes
is
back.
a normal thing to do in the TV business. But I'm always fascinated by how late it's decided.
Yeah.
You know.
That is so weird though. Like in one episode, Dr. Cox's hair's is bald,
There, and then it's
like,
gone.
but then in like a
And I
couple episodes
think
time, you see him like cut it
there's,
off.
There's one episode where they add like, and it's obviously a reshoot, and it's literally just he's like he's not in the shot, and then he leans back into the shot, like pretending that he just shaved his
Yeah.
head, and he's like, okay, now that's gone,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like obviously just to
Yeah.
provide context as to why he's bald, but yeah.
So much stuff. They had so much fun making that show. Shall we move on to Australia's third favourite segment? It's time for Just
Twitter.
Twitter.
Twins. Hey.
Here come the clowns, everybody. Let's do it. I want to start that segment off.
I believe Frank Sinatra said that.
I've got a new way to start that segment now. I don't want to be like Australia's third favourite segment. I want to say, Connor, are you ready to bring in the clowns?
Let's
That's
bring in the
good.
clown.
It's
I'm bringing
time for
up.
I like
Just
that.
Twitter Tings.
I like that.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
It hits different when you can hear it.
Dylan was laughing because he was like, every time I fucking hear you play that sting, all I can think is, you're just calling us clowns because it just sounds like a fucking clown car just pulled up. And I was like, that's exactly why I picked it.
Coming in, clowns. Let's. Do you guys have a name for the fan base yet? Maybe they could be
50%.
maybe they could be the clowns.
clowns.
The placenters.
the
50%
placentas.
clowns.
Placenters.
The
No, probably not.
placentas. Oh my God.
Probably not.
All right. Speaking of Dylan,
The 50 placentas.
for this week, he wrote the best
wrote-
episode of Series 6, beautifully atmospheric, incredibly unique. Unlike last week, Matt
Honestly,
Smith's
fucking
performance is on top
banger.
form. Sarant Jones is excellent, and it's always nice to hear Michael Sheen. I love this episode. I'm with you too there, big man. With you too.
Honestly, a fucking banger. This can I say as well, just while we're giving the reviews.
You're going to say it anyways.
This I'm gonna say that
Daniel,
this,
your turn comes later.
for a long time, this was my fucking favorite episode.
yeah, I never, as a kid, I didn't fucking.
I
hated it as a
simped
kid.
this episode. I fucking and to this day. And by the way, can I say I'm very glad that history has proved me right.
I think this is my.
It's a great episode.
I
It's
think
so
this is my
fun.
favorite
It's
episode
so emotional.
Moffat's era so far.
Wow.
Man, it is a great written episode. Honestly, like it reminds me of, in terms of how different to the rest of the show, it reminds me of Blink in that sense, where it's like it's just
sure.
an episode that just comes out like, oh man, it just stands out.
It just comes out like.
It just comes out.
It just
like
comes out.
Amelia
Second or third
Bond
page.
in A Good Man Goes to War when she makes the sound of. Thank you.
You can't even hear it because the
It's such
score's
a-
so loud.
Yeah, I know the
It's so
score,
bad.
but well, you can hear let's
hear
be
a little
honest, you
squirt.
can hear it.
Little squirt. All right, so
Murray wanted to make sure you could hear it. I mean, we know that.
from Dan Peters, he says, "Sorry, I haven't covered it in a while, guys, and it's okay, but I missed
It's
you,
all right.
Dan.
It's all right, fam.
Dan, we miss you.
It's
Thank
been
you,
a while.
Dan.
I don't think he's commented since like early season 5.
You got to hit
I
him
don't
with the
think.
thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, hit him up with that.
He deserves it.
Thank you, Dan.
There we
There
go.
you
Thanks,
go,
Trump.
yeah.
I hope Dan is going to be
I
okay.
hope he will. So Dan says,
That's what we thought when you didn't reply, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
"It's okay. You can sit down now, Connor. It's okay. It's okay. You don't need to. It's fine.
All right, read the.
There's such a thing as too many.
Fuck you, I'm the sound man.
The reason why I don't listen to 4 or Laugh.
Shut up.
He says, I really like this one. It's so unique. It feels like Neil Gaiman's love letter to the show and definitely fits with his style. What are you doing? Touching more?
It's fine.
Fucking interrupt me, bitch.
I'm not.
Connor's just, this needs to be video. Connor's just spamming the sound bites. He says, it's stuffed with details and references to the show's lore, e.g. the Time Lords, the Corsair. Plus, it gets extra points for featuring Tennant's TARDIS, smiley face, because Dan Peters is a Tennant simp. I do know that. Sarand Jones does such a fantastic job of bringing the TARDIS to life. Don't think that's quite right words. And I love the relationship and banter between her and the Doctor, particularly the line, "I always took you where you needed to go." That's a good
Man,
point.
that is a great
was a
one.
great scene.
And again-
Look.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then he says, the ending and final conversation between them is so beautifully written and acted. Overall, this is a real standout of the series. 8.5 out of 10.
Great, Dan. It's a great statement.
There you go.
What did that even say?
That's great, Dan. It's a great statement.
There you go. Thanks, Dan.
That's what I was trying to grab.
Yes.
You know, it's Dan.
That's when you go. That's when you go. That's when you go.
Thank you, Dan.
That's you do that.
This fucker. You know, Dan's so. You know what Dan is? He's used to me actually going to the soundboard and not breaking the conversation.
Yeah,
We're going
instead
to
you do it over
soundboard.
the top of the conversation.
No, I'm literally
Very
silently
convenient.
going like this, get ready to get a great
Oh, I love
soundbite
that.
ready.
I love hearing that.
See, it's interesting. It's interesting.
I
without
didn't
the
even make a
video.
noise. I was quiet as fuck. I was literally, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Bro, like if you would have just not said anything, no one would have known. I could have done the."
But I know.
See, it's funny because on For a Laugh, there's the video. So I'm trying.
know-
so I try so hard to like cut away. I'm like, please.
he
don't.
knows exactly what
And
I'm
then when it's
trying
on
to
his
find.
camera, I always cut to you whenever I want to do.
Bro, I'm the sound lad. I'm the sound lad.
Sound simp.
I've got.
Yeah, you got some.
I've only got one.
Okay, love it.
Oh, I got one and I got a poll.
Well, hold
Okay,
on, can
yeah.
I just?
Pokemon
you're
go
gonna say
to
it
the
anyways.
polls.
I just want to agree that with a fellow Dan, I want to
Yep.
agree that
Nice
that
one.
line
Sorry.
that is said about
Sorry.
I've always taken you where you needed to go. That is a fucking banger of a line.
That is a
and
good
that come on, like you telling me Neil doesn't know the show if he writes a line like that. That is amazing.
This whole episode, man. So many lines that are just like,
Oh, yeah.
oof, good
Oh
shit.
yeah, and the way that like it makes it feel like it's not just arbitrary travel. It makes it feel like they're traveling together. Do you know what I mean? It's such a it's the perfect way, and it also changes the way you look at the TARDIS from here on out too. Because from there going forward, you look at the TARDIS as like the Doctor's real companion. You know what I mean? And that is why I know you said about the different names. I do think the Doctor's wife is the perfect name for this episode because I do think that I know they do the whole river thing, and I always thought it was weird that in the same season that the Doctor literally marries River, they call the TARDIS the Doctor's wife.
Not wrong.
But I do think that calling the TARDIS the Doctor's wife is the better way to do it. Because that is the Doctor's companion forever.
Yeah.
So
the House of Nobody is like kind of a cool.
The House of Nobody is cool as well.
Tickles my balls.
I do like that name though.
Personally, I prefer
Sounds like
Doctor's
a
wife.
I like
Game of
that.
Thrones.
Yeah, I like that
I don't
though.
know.
I do like that name. I've only got
It's on Insta.
got one.
You know what? Neil Gaiman will just have to write more episodes.
Got from Jacob saying he does and it sucks. This episode is just great. This is from Jacob Hammer. This episode is just great. There's no other way to describe it. It's fun and introduces a new take on the TARDIS, something that fans have seen for years, and this gives us a chance to understand that it isn't just a machine 9 out of 10. So my question for just you and I, for now, Daniel,
Of course.
because he gives one for you as well.
Oh, he knows.
So my question, I don't know how he knows, but so my question, what object in your life would you want to be able to talk to? Dan, you can answer this, by the way. I'm just joking. But he's like, I knew Dan was coming on, so I'll mention that next one. But
Thank you, Dad.
Something in my life I wish could talk.
I reckon my car.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Like-
Because your car takes you
Like
everywhere.
Ghost Rider, yeah. Yeah.
If I could
you
talk
know-
to my car, I'd be like, so what do you think about him? Like when I drop someone off, I'd be like,
He fucking sucks.
You know, I literally had a moment. So, like me and Dan were saying before, I recently bought a Jeep.
Aiden's Jeep.
And the other day I sold my Mazda, which was like the car I grew up driving and stuff like that.
oh no.
that was
and
painful to see.
It had like a
You sold it.
A fun little thing with that car is if you put it in reverse, sometimes it takes a few times to put it in reverse. It like sometimes doesn't go in.
Oh yeah.
And I
have that
remember
too.
obviously like, I would always park my car like facing the house. So if you exited the house, you'd have to reverse. So people coming around to test drive the car. I remember just before we put it on Marketplace, I took it for like one last drive. And I pulled up at the house and I said, all right, now you're going to be a good fucking girl. And when people come around and test you, you're going to go in reverse. And she fucking listened. Maz listened to me.
Wow.
Because every time I was sat in the passenger seat whilst the test driver was about to take it for a test drive, and I saw them like go to put it in reverse, and I was like, please, 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 please. And it went straight in. And every time I was like, fucking atta girl.
Aiden's
Good
wife.
shit. Aiden's wife.
Kind of broke my heart to see so that car. I'm not gonna lie.
But I also, my old Canon 750D camera, I think that would be cool to talk to.
Where is it
first
now?
proper camera. I've got it still, but just like I took that camera fucking all around the world, man. And it's a shame because now it's lost it for about a year or so. I had mud just embedded in the side of, you know how it's got,
Oh really?
you know how there's like a bit of texture here on the
Yeah.
camera. There was like
On the
mud just
grip,
in
yeah.
on the grip. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that's what it's called. On the grip, there was just mud embedded from when I was shooting in the UK with it.
That's cool.
And it just fell over into some mud whilst I was shooting. And right now, I'm just like, it's got so many bangs and scratches all over. It still works beautifully for the cheap camera it is.
Yeah.
And I just kind of feel like I went through. I hanged it with a tripod over the top of the Eiffel Tower. Like I put that camera through the fucking wars.
Wow.
So I love that shit.
That's sick.
Daniel, what about you?
Mine would probably be my iPad 2.
Oh, that's a classic.
It was
Was
bought
that the
for
really
me-
broken one?
Yeah.
It's in that cupboard right behind us.
Oh,
And,
the classic.
In a way, it's that iPad 2's been present for every podcast we've done.
Yeah.
It's been present for everything I've done in this studio. And I've had it for 10 years. I literally got it in 2011. I've had it for 10 years.
Damn, son.
So, and that, well, yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of experiences with that iPad. So I'd probably want to hear what that would have to say. Although it would probably say,
Stop watching so
I had to
porn on
watch
me.
you jerk off
I used to call it
too
the,
many times.
I used to call it the porn pad.
Yeah, the iPad would probably say to me, I have seen things.
You wouldn't believe. I have things you will never understand.
Jacob also said, just
And when I
realised
close
that.
my eyes.
Jacob also said, just realising that Dan's going to be on this episode. So this is a bonus question. As I've been making my way through by the way, I haven't read this. As I've been making my way through the old For Our Laugh podcast episodes, currently at episode 68. Jesus.
Wow.
what a man.
Shout out. That's
At the time
lit.
recorded, and you often mention getting a tattoo for each 100. Oh,
Oh,
shit.
wow.
you
We're
guys
getting
are
called
fake.
out.
So what
do
tattoo
it.
are you going to get?
We have to do
and
it.
will they be done by Aiden?
Yes, 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 yes,
Oh.
yes.
Look,
I
let
love
me-
you, Jacob.
Oh,
let me. Okay.
God.
Can I say this to address the It's not a controversy, but to address the tattoo thing, I still want to do it. And I think we both still want to do it.
We're going to get it.
I
Yeah.
think the thing is,
200.
episode 100 just came around at a time that was just. It wasn't just.
Yeah,
it just wasn't the right time.
It was an
for us
awkward
to-
time in
for us to have
Danny's life.
that
Yeah.
sort of stuff ready for the 100th.
Mhm.
But and I've mentioned this before. I think we are going to do pretty much like a Simpsons style. Like,
Yeah, 138th.
random 100 and blank.
Yeah, 138th
Episode.
episode spectacular. Aiden, you would know if you watched
we'll,
that great
we'll,
show,
we'll
but you
pick
don't.
an episode after 100 randomly. It could be 117.
It's the 138th episode,
124.
spectacular.
It could be any sort of random, but we'll do it soon. It's not going to be, we're not going to make you wait a long
The
time.
big question is, can Aiden do it?
Aiden, you don't have a tattoo gun.
Look. If we
You-
go to a
you
tattoo
rent me
parlor
one,
and we
I'll do
ask them
Rent you
and
one?
they say yes, I mean, I'll let you do it. I'll
Fuck no. I
if
would
the
never
guy
let.
says yes, I would. But
They
I
wouldn't
just
say yes
don't-
for
well,
one.
that's why I said if he said yes.
How
Because then
about-
I'm like, it's his fault because he said he could.
How about we go and, you don't have to participate in this, Connor, but because you're a bit loosey or Dan.
Fuck
We
you.
go.
Sure.
What? That's not a bad thing.
Fuck
Just
this.
saying.
To be fair,
I
we
wouldn't want
probably
anyone
no.
to do it to
Actually,
me either.
you know what? To be fair, we probably do need someone to film it for the show. For
Oh, well,
proof.
there you go, yeah.
So Aiden can come and
Can
he can volunteer
Well,
to.
okay, hold
Well,
on.
if I get the hour, I'm going to get more than one.
What would you get? What would be the because you'd have to get the same tattoo, right? Like it's
Yeah,
it's
we've
gotta be
discussed
We're just going to
a few
get 50%.
things.
We're going to get it there.
We've
like
just
50%.
Oh, sorry. FAL. No, honestly, if I get FAL, I'm going to get 50. I'm going to personally, you don't have to. I'm going to personally get 50% somewhere.
There you go. Put on your dick.
On
that's the
my
thing. Yeah, we
dick.
had discussed doing what the
Half the
Breaking
inches it should
Bad,
be. It's not like that.
what Bryan Cranston and Bryan Cranston
No
and
one
Aaron
heard
Paul
that.
did,
Mm.
where they got Breaking Bad printed on or tattooed on their, I think it's their ring finger or their middle finger.
It's in the middle,
along
yeah.
the side of the middle
We're
finger.
going to get FAL.
So it's sort of subtle. It's sort of chill, but it's like you can see it every time you
So you
look
go for
there.
that kind of like handwritten font kind of way. Is that right?
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. Like the handwritten
yeah,
font.
maybe
As in,
that. I mean, we might
So something I could do, perhaps.
maybe Aiden's handwriting, perhaps.
Perhaps. No, I wouldn't want to do it on the finger. That's too tight. But if you did it like here,
we're doing it here, like between the.
That's where we had discussed on the finger.
you should do it across here. Then I'd happily do it for you, Dan.
Hey, there's no rule against us.
Well,
Getting
if
two.
we rent the full hour, we're going to rent the full hour, which means we can get anything done. So if we get the full hour, I'm probably going to get the Coldplay Love single.
Aiden
symbol
Aiden
right
will
there.
be like, can I rent an hour to tattoo my friends?
They're like, yeah, of course, take our tattoo gun.
I'm gonna get Amy's cum written on my arm.
Get it written on your forehead. Amy's come.
All right, let's wrap up. What will we rate this episode? This
Daniel, the
episode?
guest, you go first.
That's correct.
All right, it's honestly genuinely got to be a 9 out of 10
Oh, Daniel,
on the
I'm
record.
quitting
My
with
highest
you.
rating, but I want to reiterate, this episode has always been my favorite. Genuinely,
You're a simp
this,
for the episode, aren't you?
this episode from the moment I
Ever?
watched it.
Or
I don't know ever, but it's one of those. When I watched this episode, I was at a certain age that those kinds of feelings and emotions and that kind of romanticism, it really stuck with me. And this episode was just such a beautiful. I remember watching this episode and feeling like I had learned about storytelling and learned about human
That's
emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like I really have a lot of sentiment towards this episode. I think it's, as everyone said, I think it's a beautiful episode. I really think it's a fantastic thing. I know that, when I was getting into season 6, that was when I fell in love with the show as well. I watched it when I was a kid, as every British boy does. But, I was never a huge fan up until, I had the Doctor Who annual from 2007, which is funny. I would love to, make a video about that. But, I always enjoyed the show and I knew it. But it wasn't until season 5 had aired that I rewatched it and got into it. And then when season 6 aired, that was me following it as it came out.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Doctor's Wife and just being like, that is fucking
That's
lit.
the
And
shit.
it came right after, I mean, I know
Curse the Black
of the Black
Spot.
Spot, but it came right after the two-parter that was so lit. And like, I just remember this period of Doctor Who being the time that really made me fall in love with the show again,
That's
and
great.
really was the start of me being the fan that I am today.
There you
So this episode, honestly, love it. It's got to be a 9 out of 10, which I know
Banging.
is a record for me. I do not give high ratings on this show.
It's lovely.
Great episode.
We love that.
Yeah, I'm with Dan. 9 out of 10. I think it's fucking fantastic. I loved it. Honestly, it's so good. It's so good. I loved it so much more than I did as a kid. Oh, what about Aiden? You gonna twin us or are you triplets? Triplets? What is it? It wasn't me.
I'm gonna give it a
9
9 out of 10.
We're triplets! Triplets!
Cheers to the Doctor's Wife.
It's like
I've run out of beers.
it's like Good Omens. It's like, well, it's not 666, but it's 999.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's Daniel. Oh, didn't you want to review Amy's Choice?
What?
No, it's not. That's not what it's called.
That happened.
No, it's
last
not Amy's Choice. It's called The Girl Who Waited. Did you want to review The Girl Who Waited?
That is a fantastic episode, and I've been considering there are such wonderful episodes.
Sorry,
There might
Amy's
be
Choice, Girls
some
Who Waited.
I'll-
They're pretty much the
I'll-
same episode name.
I'll slip you in a review. You know what I mean? Bit of a sound pad. You know what I'm
You want a
saying?
sound pad review for it?
I could do that. I could come on for the full episode if you'll have me. But I'm just saying, I would at the very least ask for a sound pad review, because The Girl Who Waited, similar to this one, loved it.
We're pretty much like full
Spoiler
off from
effect.
those eps. So
So we'll allow it.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
You know, Aiden, we could even.
You guys
like,
have a great community here. I gotta say.
Aiden and
as
I
as
could
said
even
last
like.
time.
Who's to say we could even review the God Complex ourselves?
No,
No.
I don't want to go back to just me and you, Connor.
No.
I'm nothing. I'm nothing without a
No.
guest. We're
No.
nothing without our people.
No.
Speaking of our people, I'm kidding, Connor. It's great. But speaking of our, no, it was a segue. Speaking of our people, you guys are great. If you want to get involved, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50 Doctor.
Wonderful community. You
Hit
guys
up
are
Dan
lovely.
on.
Thank you,
your social
Dan.
media.
Twitter would be the Daniel Ade. I'm probably most active on Twitter at the moment,
Yes, ma'am.
but I have really been vibing with videos lately, and I really want to make some. So keep
Thank you, Dan.
Keep aware on
Thank you, Dan.
YouTube. Daniel is weird. I might be having some activity there.
I hope Dan is going to be okay.
I hope he is too.
Thank you, Tom. Thank
Hit up Connor on Twitter at Hannum Connor and on YouTube for when his documentary series eventually drops.
In
Connor
October.
Hannum,
No, not that date. Maybe somewhere between end of this year.
Follow me on Twitter at Greenie_Pro, on Instagram at Aiden.Green_, and on YouTube at Greenie Productions.
Great, and so I assume this will be posted on
Next Monday.
Monday.
In
Yeah.
a week's time.
yeah. And you guys talk about Doctor Who every week.
We do that.
Okay.
Oh, is that what you're... We do new episodes every week, every Monday. That's right. You heard it here first. You can hear us
Wow, I
Did people not know that?
every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts, except Apple Podcasts. But
I've heard
everywhere else
about
except
that.
get
Everyone
your
tells me that
podcasts.
doesn't work on there.
Who the fuck uses Apple Podcasts?
You
I don't know. A few
Lots
people
of
apparently.
people, actually. I've spoken to a few people that have looked
Yeah.
for it and have been like, I can't find it.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, you can get it. Every Monday, send us voice messages over on Anchor. That's good fun. Did you have something to say, Dan?
Oh no, I'm glad you got the. I just I only asked because I've never watched the show. I just didn't know where you guys post it. That's all.
You've never listened to it?
Spotify. You can
Have
find
you
us
never
on
listened to it?
Spotify. You can find us
Oh,
on...
wait. Is this
on
and
Anchor.
it's
You can-
it's you two every time? Is that
It's me and Connor every time.
Have you really never listened to it?
Series 6
this
is
show?
special.
Is it always? You guys do it every
God,
week?
Every fucking Monday, Dan. This series, we've got a whole bunch of guests lined
this
up.
is a
It's
show?
great.
I thought this was
It's-
a one.
Oh my God. It's been Connor. It's been special guest Dan.
25%.
It's been Aiden.
Together we are the 50% Doctor Who podcast.
25 plus 25
That's
equals
some
50%.
good math right there.
Thank you.
Connor, would you like to lead us out in song?
Of course, Aiden.
Did you bring your ruler?
No,
Thank
but
you guys
this.
for having me.
Oh, that's great.
Peace and love.
I said, oh, wait. I thought that was salty because.
No, that was genuine. I'm saying just
Thanks
you
for
having
joining
me.
us
Yeah,
again,
thank
Dan.
you.
I
love you
didn't say
guys.
thanks before, actually. Oh, hold on.
Thank you, Dan.
There we go.
Oh, very sweet.
Fit it
No,
on
thank you.
quick.
Thank you. I
We didn't do
appreciate
it last time. We didn't do the outro.
No, because it was special. I thought we should end with the theme, and I also wasn't in the mood to sing.
Why?
I don't know. I just wasn't.
He hadn't done a warm up.
So, because last
pressure
time we
him.
just did this.
I don't remember. I was so drunk. Hey.
50, 50, 50,
ready.
50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50%. Podcast.
Wow.
It's Aiden and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doing Doctor Who reviews. Hey,
Hey. Well,
Wow.
wasn't that a lot of fun?
do you know where that thing comes from, Daniel?
That's pretty impressive.
It's a bit of a secret, isn't it? Have we ever told them?
Couples therapy with Casey Neistat.